did pretty damn well. The team looked solid even without their intended starting jungler, even without the guy they were scrimming with. So now Kryra is here, really excited to see how he can perform. He has the opportunity to play against one of his jungle idols in Inspired.
So I will put forward a question here then, since they're all about Kryra, they're talking about, oh, we're going to build around him, it's going to be jungle carry, we're going to funnel him. You, Isaiah, what would you want your carry jungler to be on? Because we got a really good taste. We got Griffin on Ambessa. And
what did that taste like?
That tasted delicious. That
like
was
victory.
That was perfectly cooked steak right there. Griffin on Ambessa, FlyQuest made that carry jungle look really nice. So do you think that's a good angle to go versus Inspired? Seems pretty difficult of an opponent to try.
That would be really, really hard. I mean, when I think of carry junglers, I always am hoping as Ambessa is going to be banned out. He actually gets triple banned in the jungle.
There you go.
So they're looking at him as a real threat too. I always hope that we're going to get things like Kindred back. Kindred is one of my favorite champions ever. Still think it's my most played champion ever, and I do really enjoy that. So I'm always hoping it's going to come back into the meta. Of course, it is not in there right now. I'd also be interested in seeing some things like Diana, which has been really popular in solo queue, but hasn't really come out in pro. Some of the AP junglers feel very popular in solo queue these days. So, I mean, I'm down for it all. Whatever Kryra wants to show us, I'm going to kind of just buy in and see how he does.
Yeah, let's go. On stage here, let's see what happens. He had a lot of respect for Inspired. He talked about in the little video that we just saw. So we'll see on stage in game how it pans out. Regardless, though, we're going primary picks right now. We are on the new patch, but not a lot has changed as far as Azir or Rumble. So that trade should be fine, except that with Orianna banned out, they can still go like Talia or Ryze or something on the side of LYON, but you already have the Rumble. So whenever you have Rumble, I'm already thinking, ooh, don't I want something like a Yone as a other solo laner instead? Maybe like a Jarvan on our team, a little Cataclysm synergy there. We'll see what AD options they can cook up. I would bet almost anything you do not lock a Nidalee in. Yeah,
very unlikely. It's always the classic Inspired hover, and Kryra does end up going with the Pantheon. So obviously a strong AD jungler, but also if you are anticipating Talia, you want to break up that duo, right? Be able to have that as a takeaway. So it's going to feel pretty nice. Vi Talia would be a pretty common combo as well. That or Wukong are generally the things that people do look at. And is going to be Vi. Akali would be an exciting counter. It is one of those answers we see sometimes in pro. But I think he's just kind of taking us on a wild ride with the hovers.
I mean, I always like it because it's more kill pressure or oriented, and especially if you do have a Vi. But the classic here, lock it in, easy to hit those seismic shoves off of the Vi ganks. And what's going to be our response here into the Rumble on top side? Or do we just drop it and then Castle's like, all right, you know what, fine. Okay, so we go with I mean, this one we saw a lot of mileage at Worlds.
Last year, for sure.
Galio into Rumble. And I am liking that new Galio skin.
Yeah,
that thing was looking clean last game.
It looks nice. It's kind of interesting though, because Galio in pro play as a top lane counter to Rumble has really fallen off. People are not playing it pretty much at all. There's only 2 pro play picks of Galio so far in this season, and Rumble has 61 games played. It's the second most played top laner behind only Cassante. So it is interesting that did kind of fall off. We'll see how Castle does do it. I know, having spoken to him before, I got to watch some of their scrims one time, and he was really into a lot of these counter picks and kind of more niche things. So I think he's gonna be happy to bring it out.
Yeah, he always has looked good with it, and it pairs well with the Pantheon here. So Pantheon and Galio, pretty good synergies all the way there as well. They don't want any more globals though. They're like, all right, fine, 2 is enough. No Bard for you on top of it. We can't have Bard coming through and blowing Talia's flash as well, because anytime you have Azir mid, it always feels really good to have a Bard as your support. You just come and gank and blow the enemy mid laner's flash, and Azir's constantly looking for shuffles. So want to keep your summoner spells here on the side of LYON.
Yeah, also really nice. Anytime you can create terrain, with a champion like that, going to be really beneficial as well. A couple of enchanters getting banned out here, so trying to defend against, potential Nami Lucian, Nami Corki, Ezreal Karma. Those are kind of really popular pairings we're seeing. Enchanters in general, I think, are just a lot stronger this season because you have so much gold generation. If you're stuck on one item in pro play, tanks are just kind of king. But when you keep getting that gold generation like they do from the support quests, it allows you to play a lot more enchanters, which I think scale a lot better than those tanks, especially on multiple items.
Yeah, and talking about lane power. All right, we get the Nico lock-in. Lane power right there afforded to you. What are we going to get from Berserker and Isles? They have been ferocious in the bottom lane. Let's see what they go for here.
I like Jhin with this comp. What do you think? With hard engage?
It's so much extra CC and lots of range, to go with super long Vi Rumble combos, lots of die there. So it definitely does have the possibilities of fitting. Rel here to keep people on a Rumble ultimate. Vi is great, but Vi plus some nice AoE for the engage really helps out.
And it feels like they just wanted a little bit more time, talk through the AD carry pick, decide exactly what they're going to go for. But against relatively squishy team, we'll see if Rumble is if the Galio is going to be full tank or not. But Jhin can be really, really effective. Seems like it's just a debate between Corki or that.
Yeah, I mean, since they have double AP solo laners, gonna want a big AD threat here, and Corki is very popular at the moment. Locked in again here for Berserker, and we get the matchup. All right, the Kai'Sa answer.
Sajid has looked good on the Kai'Sa.
Best champ, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing it really, really well. I think mechanically this guy is super impressive. Even in the loss on Kai'Sa, he was kind of popping off. And this guy has some fast fingers, for sure. He's able to really react to these engages. Super, super fast flashes, Zhonya's, killer instincts to actually dodge some of these engages. So it'll be exciting to see how he can perform. And a lot of CC, a lot of ways to apply plasma there for the Kai'Sa. You talk about this Galio Pantheon entrance. Well, Kai'Sa can follow up on that very easily with Killer Instinct.
Yeah, just has to be very cognizant of Inspired, the Vi ulti. Very problematic for that champion, especially because there is a lot of follow-up for Inspired's Vi ultimate on the side of LYON. All right, high pressure on this series. Whoever wins gets into playoffs already of the lock-in tournament. Moves on up to a nice and comfortable position.
Yeah, well, a lot of pressure on Kryra as well. Your Tier 1 debut, and it is being made against Inspired over on the other side. Going to be a tough jungle matchup for him, but also a great opportunity to really impress people, to kind of make a name for yourself here right off the rip.
100%. If you can start off your Tier 1 career with a win versus Inspired in the West, like, you're basically starting at the top. He is the peak, and Inspired's been in very good form as well already. People were questioning, wow, this this LYON roster, there's so much star power, but if you throw them all together, are they going to be able to perform? Is Inspired going to be okay on a new team, separated from FlyQuest? And he has had some very big games.
I mean, he has. And, some people talk about LYON as a super team. Some people maintain they're not a super team. Pretty much as soon as they got Inspired, the word super team starts getting thrown around. I mean, Kryra, this is his experience. 3 weeks of scrims. Not too bad. Let's see what his opponent has as far as some accolades. Well, it's looking pretty damn good. 8 international appearances, 4 times the NA champion. He won the LTA Player of the Year. He's won the NA and LEC MVP 3 times. He's a finals MVP. He has been just crushing it.
And he has a ward on your Raptors, so he's got your Raptor respawn timer too.
Got you there too.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll see if he does anything with it. On the Vi, not necessarily gonna start stuff too early, but Vi got some nice buffs on this patch. Some little scaling AD and HP. Very simple, but straightforward, but quite powerful as well as the game goes on.
Yep, Sajid just narrowly avoids that Foss bomb coming through from Berserker. And as you said, Isles and Berserker have been very strong in the 2v2. LYONs and Sajid, not as strong in the laney phase, but have had some good moments in the team fights for sure. But here with the Nico early on, you're expecting them to have the advantage, and we'll see how much they can actually make of that.
Yeah, and especially as you're highlighting on the Kai'Sa, Sajid has just looked quite comfortable on this champion. He's gotten so many kills in both of his games, has gotten a very healthy gold lead in both of them, even though they weren't able to win one of them. See if they're able to do it again. Get this little chip on the tower. proc the small little bit of crystals that's there and soften that thing up is step number one. I mean, the gold off these is good. The progress towards your quest is really good. So early pressure, really nice because both junglers are pathing down to the bottom side. And you see the red ward in that Phalite brush already for DSG. So they're pushing bottom. They've got the Phalite warded. Both junglers pathing down here and feels pretty comfortable.
Yep, and Sajed, 14 kills across those 2 Kai'Sa games that he has played thus far. Castle will be playing Phase Rush, so 2 different kind of approaches. Sometimes people will go Aftershock, and it's more about that kind of big trade, you know, the upfront damage, the tankiness. Aftershock gives you that. Phase Rush allows you to disengage from these trades. You go in, you pop those spells, proc the Phase Rush, and then you can kite out away from those Electro Harpoons because you don't want those extended trades. But Castle and Dokla trading very aggressively here. Dokla does have the push, but he's getting pretty low on health. We know that Kryra is on the other side of the map, and he has the Vi covering him, so I don't think Dokla's too worried about jungle interference at this point, but does have to be careful. Yep,
split grabs here, and Inspired's going to use a couple of seconds to wait around mid lane. I mean, it is in his ear, but going to spend a couple of seconds here while Pantheon goes back for the early buy. So Kryra back with his Ruby Crystal and Long Sword, ready for the second clear. Meanwhile, Inspired, with his earlier one, will just go on over, and as soon as the Gromp respawns, get into his second clear as well with the exact same clearing potential, same early fighting tools, and we just continue to farm.
Yep. And Kryra is now up on that top side, but of course there was a ward in that Tri-Brush from Dokla. He's going to be completely safe. Castle does elect to just stay around. He's going to collect this last wave before he goes home. And top lane looking pretty even, all things considered, assuming Castle gets all of this CS. It's going to be pretty close up there. Well, Sajed does have a slight lead on the bot side, but again, that's going to be just a couple CS, assuming Berserker gets all this.
Yeah, he's working on it. Gets 2 of the 3 there. Meanwhile, teleports right back out to mid lane as well, so no surprises there. The farm fest continues. I guess once we get towards the crab that gives level 6, the all-important third pop-up of the crab, and that will determine jungler level 6s. Then maybe we get a little spicy. That's when you start heavily scrutinizing my mid lane push, who's going to be able to collapse on this crab earlier, and the bottom lane push, if it spawns on bottom lane, is the real key, because if it spawns on top side, I mean, it's far away from dragon, so it's still good crab, but it's definitely not the same as that bottom side of the map and the dragon area as well.
Yeah, and you feel like the 2 junglers are maybe wanting it to spawn on opposite sides. Inspired feels like they have push up on the top side. If Rumble is level 6, that could be pretty strong. But of course, on the bot side, it has been Lions and Sajed pushing in, Berserker basing. So we are seeing that it is that bot side settle spawn that is going to be in the area. And DSG should have the advantage, if everything stays the same, to be able to grab that.
All right, Pantheon on the way. Side brush is warded up too. I mean, let's see what Inspired moves from here. Because the entrance there, the ramp by mid, is also warded. So he doesn't actually have too many avenues. I think they just popped the Scryer's Bloom as well.
Yeah, they do also have that option to potentially go for Call Me if Call Me's trying to move down the river. Maybe Talia Vi can try to make a play there. But Lions going to push Isles back, who did get vision there of Kryra, and Inspired just going top side, realizes, you know what, they have the push, we can't contest, so he's just going to go back towards that top side, see if he can steal away some camps, or maybe look for a gank angle here.
Yeah, Pantheon early on quite good at dueling as well. And he'll get the early level 6. All right, Kryra with a level lead over Inspired. Oh, okay, we get the flash. Oh, actually not even.
Yeah, going to be able to get the flash there out of Saint, but Kryra has to defend here. Call Me getting quite low. Saint, of course, has no flash to follow, so Call Me will be able to just walk it out. Holds onto the flash, so next time Call Me has his ult, Saint could be in a lot of trouble, especially if you call that Pantheon. You could look for a flash ulti onto Saint and try to punish.
Yeah, that's the first step. Get your flash, even without the support roam, just do it yourself, and Pantheon jungle could come on over. We'll see about Inspired if they want to like counter gank that and try and turn it around. Meanwhile, top side still has like bend pressure for Dokla. hasn't actually turned into too much quite yet, and the Gallia ultimate is the extra little bit you have to think about as well for them.
Yeah.
Mountain Dragon, though, as the first dragon, takes a little bit longer to take, a little bit more durable, so might have to go for the kill first on somebody, or just raw starting it up.
Yeah, it's also going to be a little bit more difficult for LYON, you know, when they want to full send it on these engages. Vi goes in, Rel goes in. You have to be aware of that potential turnaround, you know, from the Galio, especially later on into the game. Both Azir and Kai'Sa are tough carries to dive because they can itemize in towards Zhonya's, right? So if this game does go late, your targets can get few and far between, you know, as the Vi. It's like, who do you ult when those guys are all building stasis? I mean, we're also likely to see Lions build a stasis. Of course, this is very far in the future, but is always one of those things that can make a big difference with so much gold income in the game. We're seeing these items come through a lot faster.
Yeah, stasis, and then Pantheon has directional immunity that you can put up when the Vi is coming. You know, the ultimate with the travel time, definitely telegraphed there, so you can... There's a lot of responses, a lot of tricky targets here, so have to be quite sure when you do go for it. Honestly, maybe Inspired just trades again on the top side. Now that grubs are up, okay. Maybe they'll just transfer over to the grub side of the map, take those. We still don't want to fight around bottom. Just give over that first Mountain Dragon anyways.
Yeah, and you could see that Castle was walking down, trying to see if Inspired was already on the grubs. He checked the pit, didn't have a ward for it, so doesn't catch Inspired. Inspired will be here as soon as that scuttle does spawn. And you can see that Lions is clearing out that dragon, and they are going to be starting this up. So DSG will be trading for the grubs on the top side, very likely, as you predicted.
All right. No spice quite yet. Just farming pretty easily. We do have the support roam timers too. I don't think it's going to turn into anything. Maybe try and clear out the vision around mid lane while DSG are taking the dragon. Isles here is doing his best. Grab the control ward. Because you know, the Taliyah still is very antsy with no flash. Two grubs and Inspired's just going to leave the last one as the collapse is coming through from the rest of DSG. Nice defense here. Castle got the re-push back out on top side. And mid lane just kind of hovers over as well. So calm trading early on. This, honestly, we were talking about Inspired back when he was on FlyQuest. This is fairly reminiscent where it says everybody calmly farming. Everyone, you know, they have confidence, line have confidence in their mid-game play. And nobody rushing into any unnecessary fights quite yet.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I mean, Inspired has so much confidence in his own play, right? And we've seen that, you know, throughout last year as well as this year. This guy is just such an incredible team fighter. It is very rare to see him make mechanical errors. He's really adept at choosing the right fights, and when he knows this is the way you have to win the game, he's going to fully commit to that, right? He's going to full send it, whether it is risky, whether it is not, and execute really, really well. So he can pull back games at times where you think it's doomed.
Yeah. I think he's just looking for like Trinity Force Spike here for Berserker maybe. And then they'll start to really make some plays. Some extra burst damage down there because they have quite a few options available. That last grub's still just sitting there inside the pit as well. Kryra just got his first item completed though, so full Sunder Sky is done for him, and he does have ult. That Taliyah flash looks like it's fully recovered though, so the window is gone.
Yeah, and while LYON hasn't really had, you know, they've been really successful in the team fights, and I think in the mid game they've been good. Late game they have had some problems, right? And Saint has been kind of under fire as far as the criticism is concerned because of some of the issues that have happened to him. I do want to point out, you know, in this, not this one, it was the one from last week where he got caught in game 2, where it was actually a vision bug where he got spotted on ward that he shouldn't have because of a vision bug, which is being fixed.
Sweeping the ward that was already disabled by a control ward. That's a crazy bug, by the way. That is...
So when you're sweeping a ward that was already disabled by a pink, it re-enables the ward. So that allowed them to see him. So we're going to give him a bit of a pass on this second one they're showing. But the first one, you know, they were in a pretty good spot. He kind of overstayed on the map, didn't base for a really long time. Unclear whose call that was, but didn't end up basing until the game was basically over.
Yeah, it was that one right there where, you know, hits it with the Braum Q, the slow is enough for the seismic shove.
Looks like we might have a fight. Isles is going to flash in. They're full sending it. Inspired goes in onto Lions, but he doesn't connect with the Q flash. Sajed getting a bunch of damage down. Killer Instincts back in onto Berserker. Looks like he's going to win out that fight. Kryra, though, trying to take down Saint. Saint on the run. Call me looking flash forward there from Kryra. DSG win out in the fight. It is 2 for 1. explosive engage there from the Rel, but it looked like the Q flash whiffed from Inspired that didn't allow them to get the kill as fast as they thought.
And that one's going to have huge ramifications because it is a kill for Sajed and a kill for the Azir. Yeah, didn't quite get there with the distance. They get the kill onto Lions. Berserker Valks and then flashes into the pit here, though. And Sajed's like, great, I will just follow you here. Killer instinct from Sajed. The Kaisa that has run so many of the games for DSG, getting in there, getting the kill. And that Kaisa is also going to have double sums advantage because Berserker just used everything in that fight and trapped inside the pit. So this one, these bottom lane skirmishes can have huge, huge ramifications for the rest of the game, especially considered these compositions and how many ways, as you say, they have for DSG to apply that plasma. I mean, Sajed on Kaisa is becoming quite the story.
That boy's nice on the Kaisa for sure. I really have to wonder if Inspired hits the Q flash, does Lions not die before his Pop Blossom goes off? And I do think the answer is probably yes, because it went off right as he died, right? It would have been close, it's hard to know, but those things can make a very big difference. And you know, as a result, DSG do win out in that fight. They're now 1.6k gold up. They are a dragon ahead. Yes, there was 2 Grubs on the other side, but Grubs really aren't that impactful, especially if you don't get all 3.
Yeah.
So I think DSG is going to be super happy with how this game has started.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be. I mean, we talk about, oh, the overall gold lead for the team, but it's 1,000 gold concentrated onto this Kaisa that we're trying to hype up. And I don't know what kind of gold value you're going to assign to having flash and barrier advantage too, because you just
infinite, just like the possibilities.
Yeah. Exactly, and his ult is coming back up soon too. So you have ult shield, you have barrier shield, you got flash ready. He's
almost cashing out the call.
Yeah, he's gonna be rich. He's like, I am ready to outplay somebody. Let's see if they actually go for it though. A couple of globals. Remember, on that team, you have to be cognizant of. Not only is it the Pantheon, as Inspired here is planning. You know, maybe some sort of counter or something. He's just hiding in the fog of war for now to see if anything presents itself by this Dragon startup.
Yeah, the mid lane quest just completed for Call Me, so he has tier 3 boots right now for this fight. They are ahead as far as those role quests are completed. Lion still needs their mid and support role quest and decide, you know what, we're not going to try to contest. They were looking for a pick on Call Me, but Kryra is right here behind him. They're going to go right now. Inspired starts it off. Seismic Shove is there. The full combo comes in, but now the counter engage. Call Me sweeps them away and survives, and Kryra is chasing. He's hungry for some kills, and I think he'll be able to get at least one, but Saint trying to throw down the covering fire here. Kyra is the one that goes down, and Call Me comes back in. He gets flicked forward. Saint gets another kill. Sajed finally arrives with the killer instinct. Does knock him down. Great counter engage from DSG. Got a little bit over ambitious on the chase though.
Yeah, they're totally disrespecting Saint's damage. They're just trying to all walk past this to Leah, and Saint is just throwing rock after rock after rock. Saint ends up getting 2 kills after DSG had initially disengaged. Then Sajed comes in and kind of like saves the day a little bit there, you know, cleans it up.
Lane with Talia. Okay, Hex Flash.
Nico is here.
Try to one-shot him.
Okay. Do Pantheon.
He has flash, it's bad.
Go flashing. Kaisa starts running. I will spell. Kaisa here. Yeah. Nice. Kaisa coming to the
back. Okay.
Okay.
No flashes here. Kaisa is almost in ult range.
I mean, it's a good seismic shove as well onto Call Me there too. So it's like, yeah, he's pelting the Pantheon and then seismic shoving over here, and he grabs both kills. So out of a play that, because multiple DSG members were hovering the play in River, they were there for the counter. Lion actually still ended up getting those 2 kills, but right now they're under pressure again. A little bit of an invade from Kryra and Lions onto the top side of the map.
Yeah, that is great though for Saint. You know, going to be able to pick up some kills there, get some much needed gold, and keeps it from snowballing out of control. Because when you're already behind and you go for a play like that and you get like 2 for 0, 3 for 0, and then they're hitting the tower, you kind of know how those games generally are going to go after that. But they're able to get a couple kills back. Yes, Sajed does continue to get paid. He's now 1.5k up individually because he had that first roam. That means he's on 2 items completed already. So that is a problem, but at the very least, we do have 1 item done. As Pantheon ult going to come in, not going to amount to really anything, as we have the MasterCard power spike of the game being completed. Sundered Sky there for Kryra.
Yeah, I guess it's in Sajed we trust for DSG. Yet again, he's got his Rage Blade done. So 2 item feeling quite good. As you mentioned, the on-hit for Kaisa really can just rip through people, and they have so much CC on this team. But Saint trying to cook something on the top side, and look at the mini-map, because Inspired is going for possibly another lane gank. I mean, it is the classic, the Vi and Taliyah, and we got to listen in on the comms there, where ahead of time they're like, all right, I'm going to Taliyah, you know, we're going to do a little brush play, ult into seismic shove, and try and burst somebody. Unfortunate for LYON that there were reinforcements for DSG very close, and so they kind of countered the play initially, but doesn't mean you should stop playing around your Taliyah. If you're Vi, it's so Inspired. Looking once again, you know, go up to his side of the map, see if anything presents itself.
It's really interesting because like that is obviously a powerful combo, but also, well, Saint's a pretty appetizing target here, you know, as he has no flash, and Pantheon has flash of his own, so he could even be looking for plays. So both junglers really have to be aware of, you know, where they are susceptible and also where they can look for those aggressive plays of their own. So Call Me, you know, just continuing to take these waves and just back off after every single one, respecting the fact that Vi could be in the area. So nothing happens, even though they both do look for it. Gold lead has closed quite a bit, though. It was 1.5K last time we checked in. Now DSG only ahead, a couple hundred gold. So really, it's just the lead for Sajed versus what they have on the top side for LYON.
See if they can combo anyone with this Taliyah. I mean, we got fully completed Seraphs for Saint, too. So that helps with your, you know, dying concerns that you had with no flash.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we get the big shield as well. And
I have dying concerns too. It's reasonable.
Yeah. A healthy fear of death is normal, especially if you don't have flash. Top side,
I don't have flash.
there you go. You should always be worried. Yours is always on cooldown, bro. What happened? Yours is bugged?
Yeah, it's messed up. We can see Call Me can rest, sleep a little bit more soundly as he's got a Seeker's Arm Guard already done. You know, we touched on the Zhonya's, and he got a very quick one. It is just so powerful against the Vi because the ult is so telegraphed. It's really easy to respond to and immune that ulti coming in.
All right, Black Cleaver also. A lot of these second item power spikes coming in for basically everybody, and it's going to be just in time for the Dragon. So timing windows working out pretty nicely here for a lot of them. Inspired has a fully completed Black Cleaver, though, while Kryra does not. And he's going to head on over. Let's see. Galio would have to start moving pretty early.
Go. Saint trying to find him, but does force the flash there off of LYON. So that is their reward for it. Call Me getting a little bit of poke damage down onto Inspired. TP coming in now from Galio, and it's going to be about the Herald. Can DSG stop this mid? Looks like they will likely be able to defend the turret, but of course not the crash.
Okay, they got a turret plate out of it. Can they get the mid push again? Berserker here, taking priority over the mid wave, trying to burst these minions down. Foss bomb, Dokla helping out as well, so they get their mid prio first, and then they can sweep right into the Dragon Pit. And the Dragon actually there, see if they have any sort of wraparound.
Yeah, so Jed moving in, Castle going forward. He does catch the taunt there onto Saint, and Saint is just going to die in a hurry. Can't stay safe there. Kryra pushing forward, as does Castle and LYONS. Nice sweep back onto Inspired. They're going to knock him down. So Jed gets another. He's on a killing spree, and he's into the back with Dokla here. Killer Instincts in on top of Dokla. He overheats, gets another kill there. DSG wiping LYON off the map, as Saint was just caught in an awful spot. Even the Seraphs not keeping him safe enough, Kobe.
Still needs to have that healthy fear of death. And you're going to have fear of the Galio, too. That is a critical fight win for DSG. Not only do they get to kill Saint, but they immediately followed up. I actually love how Call Me goes directly for enemy jungle. It's like, all right, we did get the Taliyah. We need to kill Inspired as well. There will be no chance of a smite steal or anything. And they get the objective secured for themselves. So let's take a look at that. Castle walking down towards Saint, starts channeling his taunt, and just on the edge, nails him, and he gets 100%ed. So then, with the jump in over here, Kryra used the ulti. They actually have Call Me go all the way back, scoops up the enemy jungle, and Sajed has his red buff. So thank you very much. Even with your flash, Big Dokes, you're going down, buddy. 2 more kills for Sajed's Kaisa.
It was tough to see, but I think there was a split second left on Saint's flash when he got taunted. So maybe, you know, didn't think they were going to engage at that moment, thought he would be able to kind of play a bit risky, flash back. But it looked like it was really, really close. It was hard to see on the spectator client there. But that is a costly one. And Sajed now 3 fully completed items. He is so ridiculously strong at this point. DSG already on Soul Point as well. They hit Soul Point at like 20 minutes. So that is a problem. And that is something that LYON are going to have to try to solve for. They have to get to this next dragon and win a fight, and they have just not been able to do that thus far.
Yeah, it gets so difficult because while all our eyes are pointed towards this Kai'Sa and the auto attacks that this Kai'Sa is going to be throwing out, not necessarily the AP variant. Kind of like this version, you know, get in there, we'll do some work with your hands instead of the long distance. Whereas the Azir is a little bit more soft-spoken here for Call Me, not as rich.
He's getting interest. He's saving up.
But he made the big, you know, makes big plays with the Azir ultimate. You know, you have a lot of other capabilities that aren't just pure DPS with that champ too, and survivability with the tier 3 boots plus the arm guard that you mentioned. He hasn't had to break that thing yet.
Nope, he's holding on to it for a rainy day, staying safe, unlike Saint, unfortunately. But Sajed is definitely going to be the main concern. We'll see if LYON can try to problem solve for that. They have to get to him, try to one-shot him. But again, counter gauge is so strong on DSG. If you full send everything onto Sajed, you're going to get Pop Blossom, you're going to get a Azir sweep, you're going to get Galio ulted. Everything is going to come in on top, and that is going to make it a very difficult fight. So Inspired has been trying to problem solve by getting to side lanes, looking for picks before these fights. But DSG are playing a smart game. They're not exposing themselves. They're not over-pushing, so he's never finding a window. And now Call Me has the fully completed Zhonya's, so had been saving and does cash in on that.
Yeah, it pretty much has to be either Inspired or Isles doing some good vision work and doing one of these sneaky routes to get in position to have a bursty engage, you know, Vi or Rel. If you can lock someone up for Taliyah and Rumble follow-up here, then that's kind of your hopes for actually getting a way back into this game, getting some leverage before the next objective.
Yep, we'll see. Still just kind of hanging around that top side. Saint, you're going to be able to go up there and just defend. Call Me not pushing forward to try to cash in on some of those plates. He just knows they're winning. They just have to keep doing what they're doing, keep showing up to Dragons. They're not the ones that need to do anything different, that need to look for any sort of aggressive plays. They are chilling just how they are right now. And Berserker obviously trying to work quickly towards his collector. But really quirky at this point, the next big spike is your 4th item, not your 3rd. Like, you need to get towards the IE, and that is just such a long way off.
See if they can get there. It's going to be a difficult path. They do still have the remnants of their tower in mid lane and top lane, so some defenses still to work with, and shouldn't be too difficult to keep vision of the top side of the map. Problem is, 1 minute on this very early Dragon Soul that's about to arrive with the Chem Soul, and Azir's going to go back. Azir's going to get another purchase before this one. So, got to be in place early. Try and take advantage of positioning.
Are you surprised that we are seeing the Fiend Hunter bolts build as opposed to AP, given that we talked about how effective Zhonya's is versus Vi and Taliyah, this combo?
I've learned to never be surprised by any Kai'Sa builds because Kai'Sa can go whatever she feels like on hit, full AD, AP, lethality, whatever you feel like. And
that's true. Uh-oh, taunted over the wall. Saint could be in some trouble. Is going to lose half his health, even more, as well as that Seraph shield. That sucks. 15 seconds before this does spawn. He does have TP, though. And
it could show confidence in your teammates for peeling. You know, he's got a Galio on his team. He's got a Nico on his team. He's got Pantheon with point-and-click stun. So, you know, he's looking for some very strong autos.
And when he ults in, that will be a bunch of bursts. Berserker has to be careful. Does spend the Valk backwards, so could be a bit vulnerable now as LYON trying to retake some space. Saint has rejoined the team with the teleport, and you can see Inspired is over behind the pit.
All right, wrapping around. Lions as well, though, he's got the benefit of a clone, and they do spot him out into the pit, though.
Oh, in comes Galio, the blast going into the back line. Flashback, though, from Castle. In comes the ultimate from Kryra now, a little bit disjointed on the play. Lions going for it. They're just one at a time going in. The Dragon getting incredibly low, though. It's going to be a smite fight here, and it is taken there by Kryra, and it's up to Sajed now to try to win the fight, but he's getting burst down. The barrier gets punched through. Dokla trying to knock him down, but he just can't do it. Finally, he does fall, but Kryra getting a lot of work done on one side. Castle going forward on the other. He's going to get knocked down by Berserker. A disjointed fight, but kills-wise, pretty damn even, and the soul goes to DSG.
Oh, that was an exciting one. You could tell their blood started pumping here after the initial surprise of this blast cone. Castle here with the super blast cone. He had eyeballs on Saint once again, and so he goes in, he does get the Justice Punch, immediately flashes out, avoids the seismic shove, but it seemed like as soon as he had gone in, Then Cryer had already hit his ult. Then Cryer was like, well, I got to get out of here since you flashed out. Then Lions had to get out of there. And then the Dragon's low, and everyone's panicking and screaming, smite it, smite it! And Crier's able to combo it with Pantheon and does get it. And then in the aftermath here, very scrambled. As you point out, they do take down the Kai'Sa. That is a shutdown for Rumble. However, the Dragon Soul, much bigger reward, does still go over to DSG.
Yeah, and I'm not looking too happy about how that engage went.
Yeah, it was so hectic. I mean, I was feeling panicked for it.
Yeah. And I think once Castle flashed out, he didn't know, like, do I Galio back in now that, Crier's going in? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And Lions was like, all right, me too, I'm coming in. And they did get flashes as well. So a lot of summoner spells were burned in that team fight, which also makes it look a lot funnier because there are so many re-engages.
Oh, Isles could be in some trouble. Does get caught out. Sajet is there. Equalizer going to be dropped defensively. Cryer actually early flashes out of that, was quite scared about the damage it was dealing. Castle arrives. Justice punch forward, but the Valk will keep Berserker safe. Now Sajet is going to be separated out. Tries to rejoin his team. Saint jumps off on the wrong side of the wall there, unfortunately. Has to flash back. Saint definitely having some struggles in this one, and they're going to look for him now. Kryra going in with the Pantheon ult. He throws down the E. Saint is getting ran down. Inspired trying to go back in, but he is by himself, and he is gone in a hurry. They're looking for Berserker. Call me, can't quite find him. The Valk just barely keeps Berserker safe, but it is not going to defend the Baron. You have Azir, you have Kai'Sa. That thing is dead.
They got what they wanted here. DSG, they take out Saint, they take out Inspired. No jungle smite available for Lion to even hope for a steal. It would have to be a miracle rocket from Berserker, and guess what? He's not leaving those minions to go throw that Hail Mary. So DSG, they get their Baron on top of it, and they make the initial play here going for Isles as he's trying to clear out wards, immediately going for the point-and-click stun. Rumble ultimate getting a lot of value there. Kryra, the floor is lava. He's like, I gotta get out of here. I don't know about this damage. And then looking for the follow-up here, because Saint riding in on the wall, and the Galio taunt. Again, Castle just grabbing him off.
Yeah, nicely done. Castle taunts him off the wall. I thought it was just a misclick to the wrong side, but it was Castle making a good play. Now Sajet going to be able to kill off Dokla in the side lane there, as he has the Infinity Edge completed as well as a Crit Cloak on top. He is ridiculously fed on this Kai'Sa, 8-1-1. It is Soul, it is a 4,000 gold lead, and it is Kryra who's going to easily claim that red buff to add insult to injury here. Big experience advantages as well. I mean, it's level 17 for Call Me, level 16 for Sajet. I mean, Sajet is ahead of Saint in experience at this point. This guy is so strong.
Well, I think Lion will be happy that there is Fearless mode as well, because this is about the time where you start thinking about the series as a whole, as Castle goes in for a nice little combo onto Berserker. Castle, by the way, been doing such a hero's job on this Galio. So many, set up positions from Castle for DSG, making those carries look good, and bottom side is just wide open. Call Me already finished up the turret, working away on the inhibitor. You get a little bit of like split push for Lion. They're like trying to scrape together anything because they know we can't really defend against this Baron buff Dragon Soul onslaught. And so they try and scrape together at least something.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get a little bit of gold there at the very least, but now even more of those luxury items are coming through. Zhonya's on Lions. We have Zhonya's on Call Me. We have GA on Castle. We have Seekers GA on Kryra and Seekers on Castle. And then we also have the Immortal Shield Bow on Sajet. So every single one of them has a defensive item up and ready to go now, which that, in addition to the fact that they are tankier with the Chemtech Soul, is going to make it almost impossible, you have to feel, to just one-shot someone, and that's really the only way you have a chance to win a fight.
Yep. So Lion probably still going to go for that, Group up, control ward on a brush, Azale. It's the tale of oldest time. And DSG grouped up, though, not going to give them any stragglers, nobody out of position, just have Castle, 4-1 split push, Galio on the top side of the map. Castle does have his Galio ultimate ready, and looks like no road in for Lion to crack through this siege. DSG with a very good opening game. They'll go for their pick onto Dokla here, but even without a turret, just kind of walk away.
Warning shot. It's my lane now, buddy. Stay out.
You've been warned that we're coming for your Nexus shortly. That's the message. I guess they're going to go buy first, though. Yeah. They're feeling kind of rich.
And if that was real life, even though you lived, you did get hit in the butt with a spear. That would hurt.
Even if you're inside of a mech.
Yeah, that could have some lasting consequences.
Okay, well, we'll see if he's walking funny in the next fight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's tough. We're just rubbing this off. Just because he didn't die doesn't mean it's not a big deal.
You're going to have to get surgery for that, some rehab afterwards, physical therapy.
Crutches.
Could be months before you're the same.
That's tough. You could get your cast signed, though. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be kind of sick.
But maybe not if it's a butt cast. Maybe people don't want to sign that. We'll see if they're going in. Cry, we're going to look for a fight here. Galio ulti coming in over the top, and there is Sajet, and there is Dokla dying instantly. Inspired flashing forward. They're going to try to take down Sajet, but do they have the damage to do it? Berserker going forward. Sajet flashing out. Barrier as well, and he kites to the side from Inspired. Now they're going to go back in onto Berserker, who's trying to survive, trying to get something done, but he just can't do it. DSG too far ahead.
Oh, look at the player cams. Kryra popping off. He's about to be 100% win rate in the LCS. That's gotta feel good.
And 100% win rate versus Inspired. DSG marching on the Nexus here. Cryo with a very successful first game here for DSG. Sajet popping off, the whole team looking good as they secure game number 1.
Oh, you can tell. They are feeling amped. They're feeling good after that one. Really nicely done all around. You know, bottom lane, they were working well themselves, getting their own leads. But then they also had the good dragon fight and Castle making a lot of plays. But it definitely has been, by a large margin, the best performances that he has shown so far. So now we get a little bit more interesting of a test. Berserker, what will he have to say this time around? Because I don't know, some choices like using Valk and Flash and then still trapped in the pits, like they seemed a bit uncoordinated in some of these early skirmishes, and those things, it's like a domino effect that you lose control of a lot of the game. Anyways, up into the live timing now, because Orianna is still banned and Talia and Azir were both used in the previous match. Guess what? Rise is king. The actualizer is here.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, one of the answers that is up and available is the Casio. I feel like it used to always be called the counter. In the phase rush era, I don't really feel like it's that much of a counter anymore. It feels like more of an answer. But maybe some of the phase rush nerfs do affect the matchup a bit. Hard to say. Rise also, got the little baby W nerf and everything, but hasn't really felt like it's very noticeable.
With the little nerf.
Little slap on the wrist.
But then his items, his turbo strong, so I think it'd probably be all right.
Slap him on the wrist and slip a 50 in his pocket.
So, I think Anivia is the more real counter nowadays, and that one has been getting, ever since Worlds has been quite popular. So I do like the Anivia version into it. We'll see though, because this team fighting is a little bit different, and you do have a lot of wave clear. But Anivia Yunara is a very strong, like AoE team fighting combo of carries, and so that I kind of like this core double carries for LYON that they're starting with.
The other thing I was going to say is I feel like Anivia is insanely difficult to play into when you're a really short-range team, but can struggle against poke, right? So, yes, you're always going to have that isolated matchup, but DSG gets to draft 4 of their 5 picks knowing there's Anivia on the other team, right? So, if they draft themselves into a corner with a really short-range team, well, that's your own fault. So, we'll see how the Anivia is going to succeed.
And especially, it's a similar thing as far as the strengths, with Yunara having a lot of strengths versus a lot of melee clumped-up champions, too. If you draft yourself into a clump, then you're not in a very good spot, because Yunara is going to be splash damage, bouncing back and forth on everybody.
It's an ugly clump.
Yeah, I have yet to see a very good-looking clump, actually. I think by definition, no,
can't be a handsome clump.
There's no artistic clump unless they're trying to like sell you on some extremely overpriced low
can't
effort.
be like what a handsome clump of casters that are casting today.
Well, if it's us.
Yeah, I mean, we can be, there's exceptions to every rule.
True. That's us. Oh, Trundle. Okay, so Trundle also got a little bit of a buff on the patch. So coming right back here, Trundle, the Pillar and Anivia Wall and Anivia Ultimate. There's so much.
Give me some Poppy. Give me a Poppy support or something.
Oh, man, there's just so much stuff that LYON can put to annoy you. So many slows. They can create so much terrain for themselves as well. This LYON comp that they're building right now is going to be able to do a lot of terrain building themselves.
And I like that they're banning out some of these long-range ADCs, right? The Varus had already been banned out phase 1. Kai'Sa was gone from last game, so you can't play poke Kai'Sa. Ezreal now going to get banned out. So we talked about how poke can be really effective against this style of composition. Well, they're taking those options away. So we'll see where they want to throw this final ban. It's going to be Lucian, so we're going to deny any possibilities of Lucian Nami and that sort of thing. Corki was gone, which is another one who can kind of poke and prod. So it will be more difficult for Sajed to actually look for something that is a bit more able to get involved without really exposing yourself. There's still things like Jhin if you want to be able to follow up. You know, that can be pretty effective. Obviously, Xayah stays safe from dive, but you can't R over the Anivia wall. So it's actually not really a good pick in that way, especially because LYON don't want to hard commit. They're not looking to dive. They're looking to control the fight, have it go slow, you know, create these kind of sections of control with the Trundle and the Anivia, and allow Berserker to do his work. Like, this feels like a comp that is built to keep Berserker safe and have these extended fights.
Yeah, Berserker on Yunara, hyper carry champ, and they've got a brick wall in front. They've got an ice wall, they've got Pillar of Filth, and they've got Sion himself, so.
Trash wall?
Trash wall, yeah. Is it even called Pillar of Filth anymore? I think they changed him to be more ice themed, so.
Could be.
We'll have to call
it. Is until we look and find out that it's not. In our minds, it is.
Aphelios can be long range with green gun.
That's true.
There
and
he's
got a green support to keep him safe here.
Oh, you are on it today.
Yeah,
Look at this.
It's got the lantern.
It's connecting all the dots.
Just ones and zeros, so I'm locked in today. We're getting going. Now they're going to have a wall. Another wall.
And a door?
It's just a wall comp.
It's just a wall. You just wall at them.
It's crazy. They just need one more and then you can have a house, right? Because they got 3 walls.
Yeah, I mean, it's also crazy Freljord synergy here. It just, you just can't really walk around any of this team fight. Like, this team fight is crazy from LYON. All of the CC and slows and setup here.
I like their comp way more.
They're gonna force you to be a clump, whether you identify as a clump or not.
You're getting clumped.
They're gonna make you be a clump.
Yeah, well,
that's rough.
DSG, you know, pretty short range, and they are pretty hard engaged. Trying to engage through Braum. Braum feels like actually a killer last pick here to bring the comp together. When you have Renekton and Wukong, like, they kind of have to send it. I do think it's gonna be really difficult for a DSG. Unless they get way ahead and then kind of all bets are off. You know, maybe they could try split pushing, trying to punish the Anivia in a side lane or something like that. But I love what LYON has drafted.
Yeah. I guess, like, the only way it fails is if bot lane gets targeted and Berserker just gets blown out of the water and you just have no money on your Yunara.
Or if you, like, subbed us in. You'd probably fail then, too.
Yeah, we could do that. We could fail that bot lane. That could be us in there.
I can make that go bad.
I got a 0-6 in me. I got a 0-10.
That's light work. Well, we'll see if LYON can pull it back, force us to what would be our first 6-game day. We haven't had a double 3-game day just yet.
Wow,
so.
record setting.
Yeah, record setting. We're looking for it.
Could be us.
Or we could just get clumped in with all the other 4- and 5-game days.
No. Yeah, not that, anything but that.
It could happen.
All right, Sajed. He had a very good Kai'Sa game here. Choosing the Aphelios into this comp. Let's see how they operate. I think if they have a way to win, maybe bottom lane is it.
We will see, but we have Raz standing by with DSG's head coach, Ido.
That's right, got Ido right next to me. First of all, taking the dub versus LYON in game 1. Was that something you expected, especially with Cryo's debut?
Yeah, I hope I never expect to lose. That would suck.
Yeah.
Cryo's debut going pretty good. He had obviously some misses with the Pantheon ults, but he's working it out in real time. A little bit of stage nerves, but I think he'll be fine.
When the team was built, and of course you guys have been scrimming with him, what did you envision Cryo's role necessarily?
Yeah, I think the way that I view jungle is jungle can be just as much of a carry as AD carry or mid lane. So you should let them eat as much as they want. You should play off of their timers. I think that's the best way to play the game. So helping him embody that, helping him learn it's okay to eat camps, slow down the game, make sure that he's strong. And last game that worked out pretty well too, aside from like some team fight oopsies. But yeah, I think he did a good job doing that.
Before we send it to the casters, thoughts on the composition here?
It's a little weird, honestly, for game 2. They don't really have too much engages. They're kind of expecting us to like run into them. So I had a word with them before that, you know, they don't really have engage. The only way that we lose is like we go way too deep, way too fast. Just hit front, play on Aphelios' screen, and it should be pretty good.
Sweet, thanks a lot for the interview. Gonna send it straight back to the casters.
Okay, I mean, if they walk up and they start stacking dragons, like if they get to dragons early, and they've got Braum and Trundle and Sion in front, we'll see how those ones do go. I like the confidence here. And the last final words, calming words for your team, always nice. Send them in there. Relax. They can't win.
They can't clump us. We can only clump ourselves.
Yeah, just don't clump ourselves, and it's all good.
Yeah. It's also interesting hearing his kind of take on how jungle should be played at pro level. I got to talk to Ido before the season started, and he kind of reiterated a similar thing where he was saying he thinks that a lot of pro junglers are going about it the wrong way. He thinks that the team should play for jungle and really inject gold into the jungler. The jungler shouldn't just be sacrificing and making themselves weak because of the reason he was saying. He thinks they can be just as strong carry.
I tell my Flex Q team that every single night. Every night. Here we go, though. Looks like bottom Scuttle Crab. Easy peasy for Inspired, and it will be split to the top side for Kryra as well. Nice delay on the back. It cost Lion it cost him a little more. The flash has to be used because of the pillar and the collapse here. So he gets an interrupt onto Trundle, which, I mean, look at Wukong right now. The Grump is respawning, and so you're going to have a ward watching it. But because your first clears are done so quickly and the second clears, like instantly start, junglers have a couple extra seconds anyway. So that interrupt is not really gonna deter Inspired at all. Like basically Gromp is spawned now, so I lost 1,000, 2, 1,000. It was alive. Like that Gromp could be thanking him maybe, hey, thanks for my extra 2 seconds of life.
Yeah, and I mean, Inspired ended up basing before Kryra anyway, because Kryra spent that time walking across the map to get the ward. Yeah. So regardless, it's not going to be delayed too much. But we have an update, a critical update in this all-important matchup. Because the accolades were looking a little bit uneven last time around, but Kryra has been able to add to it. He now has beat the reigning MVP Inspired in his LCS debut. That's a pretty good accolade.
Also, you got a thumbs up from production right there. That's the biggest one.
You don't even get a thumbs up for being a 4-time champion, for being a 3-time MVP. That's kind of crazy. Look at the producer bias on this one.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you got trophies and blah, blah, blah. Don't care, but...
But you beat the guy with the trophies. Thumbs up.
There you go. All right, well, game number 2 here in this series, though, Lion, it would be very big if they lose here and they go down to 1-2 in this lock-in tournament, bringing in such star power as we keep on going over the story here with Inspired, as well as Berserker. Some pretty high-powered pickups for this squad. And if they were to go, especially if it's a 0-2, versus DSG here, I think very few people would have predicted that coming into this, this season.
And we know it's not determined yet because of tiebreakers and so on and so forth. But I mean, TL is 1-2 as well, right? Yeah. Like that is super surprising. TL was kind of the de facto #1 team as far as the power rankings. People had Lion
Scrim rumors.
And Scrim rumors. People had Lion in various places, but a lot of people did feel like, hey, Lion could be competing for a championship. Lion should be a top 3 team. So to have both of those squads here off to a tougher start. Of course, Lion could still come back in this series and win, and then that changes the story a little bit. But yeah, not having the start, I think it's fair to say that they were hoping for.
All right, well, let's see about this bottom fight. They did have vision over the entry from Inspired. That ward is going to die in Tribrush as of now. Scuttle Crab being pushed up to the top side.
Oh, they're going to realm warp. They're going to try to look for this fight here. Kryra has 6, can't quite get in range. Nice attempt, though, with the realm warp right as Wukong hit 6.
Honestly, I love that the whole talk of like every single game we're always like, all right, that level 6 crab is coming up. Where is everybody? And no longer has it like determined the whole game. We haven't had people dying over it, but bottom side for the level 6 crab means you also get priority into the dragon. And so the rewards are like quadrupled for winning that little push and shove around the bottom side of the map.
And you're talking about where is everybody. I think Lion was wondering, where is Saint? Because he was the one that wasn't there. He was, late to actually arrive to the play. He was trying to run over there, but I think had taken a base. And Calmy was that difference maker. He shows up. Lion does have no flash, but is going to be able to back off. Nice hooked, forces out the cleanse on a Berserker as he had been rooted up by Sajed. So just a trade of summoners there. And Lions is able to use the Spellbook Cleanse to stay safe on the Braum passive.
Okay. Kind of a little bit scary, but topside is actually more scary for LYON. You know, Dokla here is losing in CS. Castle has been able to get 1 turret plate. I don't know what your metric is for how far you feel okay with a sign getting behind versus Renekton, but I think Castle's doing quite a good job here, earning a decent amount. You know, 400 gold lead for himself, and 7.5 minutes feels like a pretty good pace for the extra advantage here.
I agree. I think he's doing really, really well. I kind of think if you can like. This is really good for Castle now, but if Dokla can keep it dead even, I feel like if you stay within 2 waves and you can kind of defend your tower, then you're usually doing okay, right? You know, that at this point in the game is significant. That in 15 minutes means nothing. So that's kind of generally how I look at it, is Sion should bleed some CS early, but as long as you can stabilize and kind of keep within a couple waves of CS, then you're going to be really happy later on.
Want to see, too, how much side lane pressure DSG can get out of that, because that's one of the big things here is that they do have Ryze and Renekton for side lane pressure for later, and Castle's going to use his ultimate pretty early here on Dokla to get a very, very nice trade here, getting a lot of his HP down. And Dokla, of course, neither of them have their teleport cooldowns, so that's why he's going for the extra pressure. You know, he had some distance there from the mid lane. You could walk him down. The damage over time is one of the biggest things about the Renekton ultimate. That was the area that they kept buffing when they were trying to get this champion back in. And so it is critical when you're using, especially your early ultimates, get some good walk down value, get some good time while they're actually, you know, burning down there. So he's trying to soften them up, trying to keep Dokla a little bit concerned. And if you can keep your pressure up as a Renekton, get access to popping more tower plates by the crystal pop mechanism.
Yeah, and I like that from Castle, especially because not only did Dokla have no TP, but he ulted back to lane, you know, the last time he actually based. I should have that TP back up pretty soon, as well as the ulti, though, so as long as Dokla doesn't get dove or anything weird, he will be okay.
And look at that, I'm pretty sure he got the second turret plate. Renekton was up at the tower, I can see on the mini-map. So bottom side, they're getting turret plates. Top side, Castle just got his second turret plate. So both sides for DSG early on, grabbing some turret plates here. Still gold lead for Berserker, though, as he returns.
Yeah, and you could see that LYON was very worried about Kryra coming in down for a potential dive. They didn't have any eyes on him. They saw that he'd walk down to their bot side jungle, and so they respected the fact that he could be there. Kryra, of course, just based, and he's farming top side, but that does earn DSG's bot lane a little bit of reprieve. It's allowed them to catch up a bit here.
All right, replacing some vision on Inspired to look at the clear down towards bottom once again.
Oh, nice hook comes in, and this is not going to be cleansed away. LYON is just trying to back it up here as Isles blocking some damage. Berserker, though, does get hit by the Infernum ulti. Will they chase in further? Doesn't look like it, so it's a trade of ultimates. The heal used from Isles as well, as Berserker did not have his cleanse back.
I mean, you heard Ido play around Aphelios. If Aphelios, you know, has some space to work with, and you got some good Thresh Lanterns for mobility here, then get some extra money. Maybe they can work away on that other turret plate as well. Then that would be the biggest area for them to start. Kryra, though, exiting past the mid lane where they have their control ward. No real option here. We continue to farm.
And Berserker now does get back. He will catch some of this wave, but the lead is gone in bot. So Sajed, you know, gets some help from that, you know, implied threat that Kryra had, and then they win a trade. They push him back. He's also a little bit ahead on the call, so going to be pretty happy about how things go, despite the fact that, you know, they are into maybe a bit of a tougher matchup. Can be difficult for Thresh playing into Braum, but farming even like this, I think you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, nice little bit of pressure. And the return here, Aphelios will get there just in time. LYON's going to pull the wave a little bit. How many does he get? Every single one. Nice. He should be able to clean up all these pretty effortlessly. Meanwhile, the Trundle and the Wukong, same Trinity Force timers here. Both these Trinity Force junglers. I mean, Wukong especially has the opportunity to try and you know, look for some flash plays with ultimate, with Trinity Force spike. I mean, yeah, the LYON team is very good defensively, but you can still pull off some really good flash engages onto a Yunara. Wukong is one of these jungle champs that can put a lot of pressure onto Yunara. Let's just see, it might even occur here at this dragon fight, approaching from 2 angles.
Yeah, Call Me does get walled off, but the stun does not connect there from Saint. Isles and Berserker down below, and the TPs are going to be coming in here. Sion going to arrive with the rest of the team. Castle had already TP'd in early, forces the flash there from Saint, but they are split up. Who are they going to engage on? Lion does get that big hook on a Berserker, but he cleanses away on a Kryra, trying to get it. He does slay the dragon, flashes back in, knocks up Berserker, now dashes out to the Braum. Well played by Kryra, dancing around the team fight. Dokla's locked up, he's going to be knocked down, and Call Me once more. Trying to chase in onto Saint, won't be able to find him, but it's 2 kills and the dragon, and how about Kryra dancing around that fight?
That was beautiful. I also love the DSG preps so well. They get to the dragon first. So that was going to be the big difference maker. Okay, if we have to approach this Lion team, they're good defensively. That could pose some problems. But they have pressure. They go early to the dragon. They are on the same side. So when Lion approach from 2 different angles here, bottom lane coming up the river and top side, Saint and Inspired, that's not real threatening because DSG have 5 members top side of the fight. So Saint has to flash. You have to respect that. And then he goes back in, and we're going to get the dragon picked up for him because Inspired's been rooted all the way over there, so it's an easy dragon smite. But the cool thing is he escaped. Flash over onto the Yunara, then dash over, kill off the Braum as well. Berserker's gonna have to flash out because your team has priority, has the pressure. You're all grouped up. You're able to chase them out, and Lion, they're just split. This comp, like I said, you can't engage, and so if you're approaching from 2 different sides, it makes it very tricky for you to have real pressure on any one target. You can't really focus target like DSG could, and DSG just calmly, I think, played out that fight quite nicely. You focus one side of the fight, force away their resources, go back on the objective, no chance of a smite steal, Inspired too far away, and they get more than they came for even with the extra kill.
And I love, that flash from Kryra, because not only does it get him back in on Berserker, he flashed over Doka's ult, so he's able to dodge the Sign ult too. It's just really, really well played. But I gotta say, Lion in a lot of moments in this game just don't look like they're on the same page, right? Like you're saying, they're so split up. How is Anivia really supposed to enter that fight? How is Trundle supposed to walk into that fight and even have a chance at stealing it? Inspired never even got on the same screen as the Dragon. He was never going to have a chance to actually 50-50 that. So definitely looking tough for Lion. And though, I liked their draft a lot, when we were actually coming out of Champion Select, they are now way behind and, again, going to be in a pretty tough spot.
All right, Big Dokes finishes his Sunfire. So that Sion with the ultimate is the primary engage. You're hoping maybe like, all right, there's gonna be Trundle pillars and Anivia walls and stuff to make it hard for enemies to move. But I think the biggest thing is if they get behind too early with this and you're not able to have a very big effect while you're grouped, it's also gonna be hard to attend to your side lanes. Ryze and Renekton side lanes here are gonna constantly have pressure, and so theoretically, DSG can keep on gaining resource advantages on the map here, putting pressure, moving in, getting jungle vision super deep in, and then you get to see the next moves that Lion are going to make. And immediately they're going to rotate over to that Rift Herald after placing some fairly deep vision, but Kryra's going to reset it.
And I really like the point you made about, being first to the Dragon, because to me, it's like, that's clearly how you want to function as both teams, right? If Lion are there first, and all of a sudden, DSG was the one having to walk through, a Nivea wall and all this zone control, and then you're getting funneled in, and someone steps forward, and now they're walled off, and they're getting focused down. That's incredibly hard, but because they showed up late, they're now way behind. And when you're playing a team that is great at counter-engage, but has no engage, your comeback mechanics are there's a lot fewer, right? Because generally when you get down, you're like, all right, let's make a pick, right? But that's not really going to be an option, and Saint may just be going down. Has no flash. Good wall, though. Keeps himself safe for now. But Castle could look for a redive. Saint trying to keep him away, trying to stay safe here, but he has overstayed his welcome. He needs to leave. He's back into the egg. Will Castle go back in and try to finish him off? I don't think so. I think he's going to be happy with popping that passive, as Inspired is going to come down here now and try to look for the play onto Castle. Does he have the slice and dice? Can he get over the wall? Flash followed there from Inspired, and Castle I don't think is going to have anywhere to go now. Looking like he's out of luck. They want to give it to Berserker, and they're going to be able to. That is nice. Lion not only get the kill, but they're able to give it to their most important carry now, Berserker.
Yeah, 100%. They need Berserker to have enough money to carry these team fights. That Yunara definitely has the capabilities of putting out the damage if they can fund her. So very nice luxury there that they're able to actually give it. So the slice and dice, and you saw no hesitation from Inspired. He flashed over that wall. He's like, you are definitely going into Berserker's pockets here. I'm going to make sure of it. Nice little pop-up there from him as well. And Berserker gets a little bit more money. It's still not going to make up fully the gap that they had. And Sajed as well, going to be able to tap a turret plate.
Yep, and is looking strong, moving towards that IE. No flash on Inspired. Remember, they're trying to focus him down, and he gets bursted to start the fight here. Castle on the side, going to threaten.
Just got deleted. Red, white, good night, Inspired. He just gets deleted off the map. Hit a death sentence, and now LYON are thinking, well, the rest of us are here. What do we do now? I guess we're trying to watch because we know they're taking Dragon, but we just lost our jungler right before the objective even came up, and you're sitting there, hands empty. I guess we all leave now.
Yeah, I mean, there's the punish on the flash that was used to kill Castle. They catch Inspired, has no flash. They get that kill on him. And pretty early on, like you said, realized nothing we can do here, so he just runs up towards that top side. Again, we are faced with a really quick soul from DSG. Last game, it was about 20 minutes when they got their third Dragon. This time it's not even 18, and they're on soul point. And that is going to be really difficult to deal with. Call Me going forward here onto Saint as LYON's going to flash in, finds the follow-up hook. And remember, he has no passive, so there may be a punish back the other way. Good flash out, though, from Saint. And now the stun coming down on LYONs. He's got no flash because he used it aggressively. Inspired arrives, and they're going to get the kill onto LYONs. Just barely Saint survives. Comes up with a pretty important play, but did he overextend? Oh, my God.
Okay.
I wonder if LYONs kept autoing if he just kills him there instead of actually going for the hook. That was close.
All right, call me now.
They are going for the recall, but will they go for the play? Isles now in the area. Call Me flashing forward, does get one back. Nicely done as Saint does fall. You can see Renekton down towards that bot lane working on the tier 2 tower, so he is farming up some plates. Sajed could be in a bit of trouble as Dokla trying to threaten him. He'll just back it right off and respect the threat there. So a lot of scrapping, but at the end of the day, the gold swing stays pretty even, and Inspired has hit his MasterCard power spike there with the Trinity Force. Of course, had that for some time, and is looking pretty powerful with it.
Yeah, interesting stuff up there. I mean, it got a little dicey, a little spicy at the end. In the end, though, Flash invested from Call Me to make sure that he gets a counter kill on the play. We'll see if that Flash ends up getting punished, but he just didn't want to go down without taking somebody with him. So, you know, I respect that.
Respect.
I feel that.
I got mine.
Yeah.
What else is the team doing?
You're going to kill me. I'm taking somebody down with me. I'm good for one.
Yep. Die in a team fight, but you get one kill. I got mine. Why did we lose the fight?
Well, we'll see if anything happens with him not having Flash later, but we'll see. Honestly, he still should be able to have some pressure split pushing. I mean, Realm Warp is very, very useful in those endeavors, and bottom side already is a long lane for them, having taken that tower. So Castle is able to push the long lane on bottom side and get some extra time to roam.
Yep, and I do like that he's playing upgraded Swifties. Makes a lot of sense. You're playing against Anivia, Trundle, Braum, Yunara slow, even Sion has the slow. There's so many slows on this team, so Swifties definitely smart tech here. It'd be interesting to see, you know, we have Swifties as well in Sajed. I was going to say I kind of expect him to go for it also, and he has.
All right, this Herald here going to finish up the mid tower. Now we've got bot and mid taken care of from DSG. Methodical gameplay. Bottom side minion wave does need to be attended to, as at least Dokla was able to push that one out. But I have to say, DSG have been very good at progressing the game. They have not wasted a lot of time. They have been very calculated in all of their objectives, you know, arriving early, arriving on time, and everybody kind of doing their part. So next step on the checklist is going to be getting your vision for the Dragon Soul. Just make that approach to the fight so insanely hard for this LYON team that the only thing you possibly have to worry about is a Sion ultimate. And that's not even that hard to deal with.
You can Wukong clone that even. Yeah,
you can Wukong clone it. You got plenty of options here. So as long as they can go get some extra control wards there, like they can make it so difficult for LYON to approach. And LYON themselves trying to carve out an area of the map to work with at least.
Yep, and it's going to be tough for LYON, but yeah, have to be there first, have to find some way to get pushed, but they just can't really respond to this rise in the side lane. And Nivea just so much more at risk moving around the map. They're trying to see, is Sajed moving too far forward? Can we punish him? The answer is no for now. But as long as DSG don't see anyone, your side lanes are pushing. You don't need to do anything. You're just chilling, waiting for them to show up, because otherwise you're going to get a free tier 2 bot, and that looks like that's going to be the result of this play, or at least some damage on it.
Yeah, and Call Me, his Ghost is almost back up. Even without your flash, your Ghost is so much mobility here for the Rise. Side lane pressure, very easy. As you say, confident as well to be able to push these out. And so they get them both pushed. They get the full rewards now. You can collapse first.
Yeah, Inspired was trying to move forward there. Was spotted by Castle, was camping out on the blast cones. They were considering an engage. DSG definitely in the area if Inspired goes too far.
20 seconds on the Mountain Soul. Pretty big durability boost, and Call Me. Nice little exchange with Saint ahead of time, knowing,
good interrupt with the pillar there on the Lantern. Call Me's gonna get flashed on by Isles. In comes Dokla, can he find him? Knocks him up and knocks him down. MVP play with the pillar from Inspired. Castle is behind them though. Kryra gonna disengage. Will that be enough to grab them the dragon?
That was clean timing right there from Inspired. And right before the Dragon Soul, this guy is clutch. They purchased themselves an MVP. Maybe it was just in time here as far as the play for LYON. Now they've got the inside route on the Dragon. DSG are still trying to approach a little bit here, though. I think that is very ill-advised, and LYON will be able to secure the Mountain Dragon themselves and a little bit more.
Yeah, Castle has to slice and dice out. Kryra forced to flash as they were really overstaying. The Dragon, I think, was pretty gone once Call Me died, but they said, you know, maybe we can fight for it, do something, you know, catch someone out. But Kryra does end up losing that Wukong flash, which is extremely valuable.
Yeah, it really kind of throws off your timing. This Baron is dark, though, and there's a white gun of Felios inside that Baron pit.
Yeah, and Call Me's going to realm morph right over into the pit, so they are on this. Dokla going to be able to scout this out. Inspired in the area. Do they just stick it? It's down to 5K. It's getting low now. Still getting hit. They're going to stop the damage for now. In goes Inspired and Dokla. They're trying to tank this up. Inspired's been pushed out of the pit, though, so they just focus it down. It's secured there by Kryra. Castle on the side trying to slice and dice to safety. He's alive for now. Call Me's going to get lanterned out. He's still alive. DSG on the run, but how long can they stay up? Dokla going to get hooked up the wall. Castle still somehow surviving as Dokla, against all odds, is the first one to fall, but a great wall is going to section off Sajed. And Sajed goes down. Isles and Dokla try to chase Inspired here as well. They want to push the wave. They're going to try to cancel the base here, surely. Isles does go forward, cancels it onto Kryra. Call Me now caught out into a weird spot here. He's going to get interrupted on the Lantern play. Inspired cutting back. LYON's not able to connect on the hook. Berserker pushes it up, but they can't get more.
Yeah, they were sweating up against the wall. Saint ran out of mana, though, on the Anivia, and Berserker had pushed the wave into the top tower, so LYON will be able to get the tower at the very least for themselves. Still 3 remaining members with the Baron buff for DSG, and this is a tough one. They go, all right, we're going to push Inspired out. He flashes away as Aphelios was on him. That secures the Baron, but it costs them almost all of Castle's HP, so their front line's going to be gone. They have to run. Here, Sajed used the flash right there. So then afterwards, when they turn around to burst Dokla here and they move back up a little bit, now he's got no flash to get out of this wall. And the Scion gets a little revenge there with Big Dokes in the zombie form collecting. At the end, I mean, the terrain creation that we kind of were highlighting for this team early in Champ Select with the pillars and the walls, these clutch kind of interrupt timings on Lanterns. They did another little one up on the top side, but you can see why Ido said it's okay, we just play on Aphelios' screen. Everybody kind of play around one screen length from Sajed.
Yep, just trust in your boy, and we'll see if he can take him to the promised land. He's been on 3 items for a while. It does have that LDR completed. Berserker has his IE completed, and he's had those Fiend Hunter bolts for a long time, so the IE very big spike now for Berserker, who is going to be a threat. But of course, the problem is Call Me snuck out of that fight with almost no health. That means he keeps the Baron buff, and it's going to make that split push that much more threatening.
Yeah, let's see about the return towards mid. Nobody gets hooked as of now.
Do they actually find a pillar here? LYON's gonna have to flash out immediately as Call Me trying to get some damage down, but did he overstay? Are they gonna look for the Realm Warp to re-engage here? Sajed, take that Lantern back. Nice hook there onto Dokla, does interrupt him as Call Me has to flash over the wall as he was being pressured on the other side. No one gonna go down, just a trade of summoners there, as it was Dokla's flash, as well as the flashes of the Rise and the Thresh.
Pretty interesting stuff here, because we have like 2 kind of sides of it, with a couple flashes traded here yet again. Call Me losing some more mobility resources. I don't know if this is going to become a problem for them, but it could be an area that LYON try and attack when they attempt to push these side lanes. Stop the recall on Big Dokes.
Nice smite there, does interrupt the recall. Sajed trying to get the damage down over the wall. In comes Isles to try to defend him. Kryra's caught off on the side, and Kryra's going to get burst down by Berserker. Saint goes into the egg. He's alive for now. Castle arrives with the TP as LYON surely want more. The Ghost was popped there by Call Me, now expires. Berserker threatening forward. They won't get any more. Isles comes in just at the right moment, keeps his top laner alive, allows them to get a kill back.
Yeah, sounds pretty beefy, and they kind of went in for the attempt here. Thought they caught him on the stop on the recall. End up losing a little extra themselves, but this Dragon, still 50 seconds, so there's plenty of time for Wukong. And Wukong's flash will also be back up. So Cryo will be back. He will also have flash. I don't know how much money he has. Look at his GAs. He really wants to complete the GA for the Dragon Soul fight. He has the components at the moment. If they could squeeze that out, it would be so, so big.
Yeah, that would be massive. You can see Saint now completed his actualizer off the back of that, so he's on 3 items. Same items there on the other side for Call Me. So Jed just the pickaxe on top of his 3 items, whereas Berserker has completed his 4th. So Berserker actually way ahead in gold now, up 2K. So it's kind of the inverse situation of last game. Berserker definitely has an opportunity to carry this one.
Yeah, for sure. And especially if their team does get here first, like they are now, because trying to cut through front to back through a Braum and Sion front line here, that are backed up by a very fed Yunara could be difficult. So you might need like Wukong and a Renekton flank, which Castle is trying now.
Castle just now got spotted. He walked over that ward, but no one pinged him out. Did they not notice? They're not reacting to it whatsoever. They're going to go forward instead. Lion's going to be caught on the wrong side of the wall. He's going to get knocked up there by the decimating Snash. Now Castle being marked. Call Me being pushed back. Berserker dashes in. He's trying to take him down. Sajed flushed over the wall, trying to get one back. Sajed kills him, but not before he goes down from Berserker. Lion's over the wall, lands a hook. Kryra's left alone, and it's Lion running over the fight here. This time, they get the best of DSG. Berserker went huge. So much confidence in that fight.
Yeah, you can see it. DSG know, all right, well, we can't get through all this, you know, Sion, and look at this wall over here on the side. Lions is getting burned down, then the Bramble. It's like too hard to get there. So they're trying to all flash on Berserker. Sajed even flashes over onto Berserker. Berserker flashes up, and that causes everybody to expend so much in their endeavors to take down the Yunara that they do in the end, but it costs them everything. And it's just so hard to get through all of these Freljord champions. They're so durable, so much CC.
Look at the relief there. Feeling some stress, safe to say, on the Lion side.
You can say that.
Yep. Expectations are high for this team. They built a very expensive roster. And, you know, with that comes the expectations that you are going to be a top-level team. So Reignover definitely knowing, hey, if things are going bad, that's going to be some pressure on me. So very happy to see them win that team fight. They were pretty down early, but have been able to claw it back. 3 straight Dragons for DSG. Now Lion have won back-to-back fights, and Berserker is ridiculously strong. Already had 4 fully completed items. Now has the QSS and a Vamp Scepter on top.
And this is the stage of the game, which is why we were getting worried when we saw the champ select. We're like, oh man, that 5-on-5. Woo! Lion are looking very beefy, and they're going for a dive even.
Yeah, Berserker, though, going to be potentially in some trouble. Gets exhausted. QSS is it. There is the GA pop. Lion's looking like he's going to fall as well as Saint going forward, trying to finish him off. Can't quite do it. Sajed, though, focusing on a Dokla. Dokla getting low, but he is still alive. Call Me on the side just gets deleted there by Berserker and Saint as he tried to come in. DSG know from this spot they kind of have to try to find clever angles, but they're just getting picked off as they move forward.
Yep, cannot get in. Berserker knows he's the target, and he's not too scared with all of his bodyguards around him. They're going straight into the base. Middle inhibitor tower immediately down. And look at the timing windows here. It's going to be a desperate defense. Can Sajed and Castle and Lions pull out a miracle?
Castle popping the ulti, knows he can't waste too much time. They're trying to trim out that wave, but a new wave is coming in. Sajed on the side looking for some damage onto Inspired. Gets chunked a bit himself. Castle on the run from Berserker. The towers are being focused down. The last tower is gone. Sajed tries to make a big play. Knocks down the Anivia, but only into the passive. Kryra comes back up for the respawn, but Inspired eyes on the Nexus. He is not messing around with kills. Inspired wants to tie up this series, and he will do so. We are going to the first 6-game day of this split so far.
Record-setting day. All right, well, it does get a little bit more interesting. I guess Malphite also remains banned here, so we're
They just do Nocturne again? Because that was their first 3 on Blue Side Game 1, I believe.
Keep that one. I mean, yeah, Nocturne does lose some value when Orianna's permaban, but they were
They were
before
banned
too,
anyway.
so.
Yeah, and Varus going to remain on the ban list. So a lot of the same ones kind of staying up here. Wouldn't be surprised it's Nocturne because, again, it was what was shown as that third ban earlier. But, hey, maybe they're saying, oh, we don't care about just the Ori Nocturne pairing. Maybe there's another pairing that's now been played so they could drop that ban, and we'll see if they want to go for that, as it will, in fact, be Nautilus going to get banned out here.
Some people just hate playing against that ultimate, man.
It is annoying.
I don't want to see it, but maybe we will see it this time around. We'll see, since it does get through. DSG, what are we feeling now? I actually, when we get to game 3s, I usually get most excited for mid lane because mid lane gets a little bit more spicy, a little bit more diverse here. So I want to see, you know, Saint was covering other stuff like Akali, you know, previously, and now you get some time to actually use those types of champions. Funnily enough, Call Me to me had one of the best Akali performances that we have had all year of an LCS mid laner.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of good combinations are available here.
I think Call Me has been quietly very good. I think, you know, he is a big part of DSG's success thus far. Already locked playoffs. That's awesome for them. That is a big win for them. And I was going to mention, you know, we've gotten through a lot of these meta AD junglers. Xin Zhao obviously got a little bit of a buff in the patch, so that one is rising in priority. But there's still things like Jarvan is still up and available. We've seen Kiana, we've seen some Lee Sin. So there are obviously other AD junglers that you can go to.
Yeah, and we get the presumably Castle Aurora because he does like it, but it's flex pick. It's a flex pick here. And put some pressure on those solo lanes. Meanwhile, some Lucian, possibly Nami.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to go Nami on 3 here, if they want to respond to a potential pick. Also, we touched on jungle. You know, that could get pinched pretty heavily if they do not go for an AD jungler here, and you want to have an AD jungler in the mix. Could be a couple bans thrown their way by LYON. Worth noting, though, that even though DSG is locked for playoffs, winning would start them in the upper bracket, which is very important. So, of course, still really hunting for that series win here on the side of DSG. And we are getting the Berserker Classic. This is the champion I associate most with him by far. When he first came into league, was like peak Zeri gaming. He was getting pentakills. He was racking up wins left and right on Cloud9. And it is Lulu Zeri, absolute throwback to when he first joined the league.
And honestly, I love Lulu as in also. So yeah, this line opening set for their draft here is very comfortable. Very, very comfortable picks.
I feel like if I'm LYON, I really would like to ban out Jarvan, because not only is Jarvan an AD jungler, but it's also a form of engage, right? And you are a bit light on engage when you do go this enchanter route, so being able to take that away could be quite nice. There's also obviously tank engage options up on the top side, like you can go towards Ornn or something like that if you want, but we haven't seen K'Sante played yet, so I'm pretty sure someone's going to play K'Sante.
The only thing with Jarvan is he doesn't put a ton of pressure on Zeri, so
fair.
maybe they're like Berserker. You're going to carry this game for us. Anything you want banned, buddy? It looks like the first ban probably wasn't Berserker saying, get Gwen out of my face. That was probably Dokla.
Maybe it was. You know, the Shroud's pretty annoying.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to get a pentakill, buddy. What's up with this Shroud?
Yeah, immune? Hell no.
No. Not in my book. Get that thing out of here. So a couple mid lane bans getting thrown down towards Saint. So going to be taking away some of these control mages. Of course, Aurora could be top, could be mid. You know, really could go either way for Call Me or Castle. But the mid lane options are going to be narrowed down quite a bit.
I like it. And the bans are pushing them more towards some exciting assassin, get your hands dirty types of picks. Ban a couple of these control mages. All right. Raise that priority. All right, Jarvan still does get banned.
Yeah, I mean, even if you can't go for Zeri, I always feel like when you're playing as an enchanter against it, it's pretty terrifying. I'm not going to lie. You just get ulted, he flag and drags out. If you don't have flash, you are just cooked. As Sajed is, we're finding out his hover. His hover is Renata, so we got to find out the lore on the Renata hover, but usually it's a shout out to a girlfriend or something like that. So we'll see what they are going to consider locking. Mundo could be kind of fun as both a potential flex. Again, it could be jungle or top, but of course in pro play it's mostly just been jungle. I do think Mundo top can work quite well though, so there are some potential flexes here. The Aurora could be moved around potentially, the Mundo could be moved around potentially, but we are kind of assuming that they're going to go more standard spots.
Okay, so gonna have to get the reveal on both solo laners here, regardless of who will go against Aurora. Gotta pick something that could take either of the matchups. And they feel fine with Cassio. Wow, this team, I mean, Cassio pumps, Zeri pumps. I mean,
Lulu pumps shields.
I was going to say, Zen even kind of pumps when you got a Lulu backing you up too, so.
Surprise, surprise, Cassante probably going to be the option here.
Very
as
versatile.
I said, yeah, it just kind of fits in everything. And there is very little engage, though, honestly, on both teams thus far. Like, yeah, you can have Aurora throw down an ulti to kind of start a fight, Nami wave and whatnot, and culling, sure. Zin can jump in and kind of start a fight out, but there's not like pick tools really per se, right? So we'll see where they are going to go and if this is going to be Mundo top or not. I think Mundo into tank matchups is super strong because you generally outscale them all and they usually can't punish you enough in the early lane. So if there were a game to go Mundo top, I think this could be a pretty good one. We'll see though. Oh, Jace, so it's still flex. It could be Jace jungle, could be Jace top, could be all kinds of stuff. We're going to find out where they are going to end up going. There are only like 4 Mundo games top in Pro so far this year, and there's been a lot of jungle ones. So jungle is the expected, and it looks like that is going to be what it is. Cryer going to be piloting the Mundo. Jace receiving some nerfs on the Shock Blast, some buffs on the melee form, if I recall correctly, and that's going to be going mid.
Okie dokie, yeah. Taking on some monster damage, but also taking some of the regular damage too. So we'll see how much that does affect him. And if Kryra can do some Velia, some lesser tone cosplay here with this Mundo, walk him down, see if you can get your farming going, scale up nicely, become nice and beefy. I mean, a lot of poke too, because Lucian Nami provides you poke on your team. Jace provides you huge poke on your team coming from mid lane here. And so there is a lot of potential on even some early power spikes.
Yeah. For
this team to poke you out. I mean, mid control seems really good there when you could have Shock Blast coming from downtown. You know, that's 30% of your HP. Lucian Nami, as soon as Nami's got the mandate and Lucian has whatever he has at that point, it's totally fine too. it'll be enough.
He's got some swords. He slapped them together.
Yeah, it'll be enough to chunk
it'll
you.
Get her done.
Throw out a culling there. So you do have to be worried about getting poked out, I think, in the mid game by this DSG lineup, because if you do sustain a lot of that damage, but guess what? Invisible Rabbit comes hopping down, and they go for the engage with the Aurora there. Aurora, maybe the slow and ult is enough to get a Nami wave going for them. So we'll see.
Interesting tech here for Dokal on the top side. Going to be playing Aftershock instead of playing Grass, so still wants to be in that defensive tree, but feeling like you're not going to be able to really trade with Grass autos and stuff on the Aurora, which I think is totally true. So if you're saying, I'm not going to get Grass procs throughout the lane, Aftershock is going to do more in an all-in, right? You know, you go all out, you proc it, you hit a Pathmaker, you proc it. So I think that actually does make some sense, given that a good Aurora player will just not allow you to be autoing them.
Yeah, keep that distance, play the distance. Honestly, looking at the distance here too, both first early Qs from Saint hit. 2 for 2 on the Noxious Blasts, harassing the Jace while CSing.
Yeah, and that really is kind of what Cassio lanes come down to. If you don't hit the Qs, you don't deal any damage.
Every blast counts.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Don't minimize any of these blasts. They're each important, and we'll see how he's going to be able to perform. As Calmy does backstep that one. He's going to be playing Phase Rush, of course. Helps a lot to be able to get out of Miasma. And when you're not playing against any team that has like true hard CC, hard engage, Phase Rush is just insane value all the time.
Yeah, people are wondering, all right, are the nerfs, you know, people still going to use this thing, still going to have value on range champs?
Every game.
Yep.
Turns out.
Yep, pretty good still.
Going fast, being immune to the slows, pretty damn good as Calmy goes in for a little bit of a trade, but Saint is dictating the laning phase thus far.
Conqueror stacking up, speaking of which, for Saint, and Saint aggressively popping the Ghost as he had stacked up some Conqueror stacks here, wanted to push Castle away.
Ooh, Calmy getting way too greedy there. I mean, he walked in, that was a freebie that he gave him. Saint is already standing on the minion that you're trying to walk up and hit for that last hit, and allows you to just kind of pre-Q it. And now he could look for a potential all-in. If he hits one more Q, he will go forward.
I like that. Stand in front of the cannon. He knows you can't CS the cannon walking up, so he'll try and shock blast it, and Saint has enough HP, just face tanks it, denies the cannon.
Yeah, this feels horrible for Calmy right now. The minions are kind of getting into that weird spot. He's missing all of the melees because they were kind of weird health amounts there. And this matchup going to be pretty important, has been pretty important throughout the series so far. Saint, obviously someone who's been getting a lot of criticism, to be clear, and Calmy, someone who has been kind of, I think, a big standout for his team.
Yeah, definitely has been true previously. This game starting out pretty Saint favored, though.
Yep.
That's what you get when you eat too much poison, Zale. Keep your poison intake
Don't be
low.
eating that.
He's
Part of the food pyramid.
Mundo, you should just get back into your next clear. Yeah, there you go. It was fishing for an easy recall interrupt, but if he doesn't see Cassio immediately, it's like, I tried, buddy. No interrupt on the recall for you.
Only going to find Inspired here. Inspired does have a
shock
smite,
blast
so is he going to try to get it last second? Doesn't quite get it as Inspired reacts with the smite. And also, I think he had it body blocked enough. I don't think the splash would have reached that, but nice little attempt from Call Me. And Inspired could go around behind him. Even if you just get a bit of damage down, it would be pretty annoying, but going to be able to spot the Mundo over on his Krugs.
The corporate... wait a second.
What was this? Isles is just walking up and might end up dying. That was really close as the heal had to come through from Isles. We didn't see what kind of prompted that, but I guess they were low on mana. Maybe he wanted to walk up and try to stop some bases and try to get an advantage that way. Berserker did go back to base, so I think that's exactly what happened is Isles was just trying to go forward, trying to harass them, make them get locked in lane, because Sajed now is and has no buy. So now he can put no pressure on Berserker. Berserker can walk up no problem and farm a plate here.
Honestly, since Isles didn't die, just spending your heal for that, and the Lucian is out of mana here, honestly, good. He just gets to go for his base anyway, and Berserker alone at the tower able to work off first third plate.
It was a risky bet, but it paid off, you know? It's like when you just close your eyes, buy some Bitcoin back in 2005, you know? Back then, it was looking pretty risky.
PSA, we don't give financial advice here.
I give financial advice to people in 2005. Buy some Bitcoin.
I give time travel financial advice. Yeah, for sure.
I do give that. I'm quite confident. But maybe the timeline changes and then Bitcoin's not worth anything. And then they travel back in time and kill us as, you know, little people or something.
Who caused that wrinkle? That branch in the timeline?
Who knows?
Unfortunate
so never
for
mind.
us.
Don't buy it. Time travel.
Well, Lucian's not getting any sort of money because walking back right now, his minions are dying to the old tower there. So Kyra just going to spend some more face time here in mid lane.
Yeah, he's got nothing to farm right now, so just kind of waiting for that bot side scuttle to come up and Saint going to be able to chase him out. Call Me getting pressured pretty heavily. There is more minions for him to farm there, but he will, of course, still be down in some CS. And will equalize a little bit, but not a big deal as long as things don't go from bad to worse. You know, if he doesn't die without this flash being up, he's probably fine.
I do think this has been quite good for Saint though. Like talking about some of the errors that have been that we've seen. This one has been very good. The pressure early. I love denying the cannon. You know, getting some good chunks out of him. And
time to brawl.
Wait a second.
Crab
is up.
The big crab as Inspired just going to go right in onto Kryra. Kryra's kind of sectioned off from the rest of the team. He's going to have to flash, you have to think. Instead, just trying to walk it out, but Saint is coming in, has the ghost pop. Kryra very low. The ulti not going to connect onto anyone. Nice slow, though, onto Kryra as he flashes out. I don't think Inspired wants to get that back in. Call Me, maybe just going to get chased down, missing that flash. Isles flashes in. Can they get a kill back? Yes, they can. First blood, though, goes to Berserker. And that season... from last season, didn't give you any bonus gold. This time, it is quite a nice chunk of change there for Berserker.
That was such a worthwhile flash and sacrifice from Isles to get the last hit for Berserker on the kill. And yeah, so Crab's taking a lot of damage. Look at Saint Ghost now. So Saint wrapping around here on the Cassio, flash miasma into the ultimate to slow, and they force the flash out of Kryra, and Call Me gets kind of stuck here. But then as the bubble lands, the peel is there, and Isles says, I'm going to send for it. Call Me goes back in, and it actually ends up perfectly for LYON, allowing Berserker to get that last hit, and influx of gold. And it is terrifying. You know, you said you had memories of Berserker on Zeri when this champ was first released, and it was mega busted, going for pentakills all over the place. You know, it's always his comfort zone here. It's Zeri plus a Lulu. He's got early money. We have seen this recipe result in lots of team fight victories later on in games for Berserker. It was when he was wearing Cloud9 blue, but still could be true here.
Absolutely could. And Call Me, as a result of that lane pressure, you can kind of thank Saint for that kill, honestly, because he forced the flash, and the flash was not back up when he went down. So that lane pressure in the 1v1, you know, I thought, hey, maybe it's not going to matter too much. Ends up getting in a fight right around that scuttle, wasn't up. And thanks to Saint's 1v1 prowess early on, Berserker is able to cash in on that first blood.
All right, thanks all around then. Good effort. Good hustle, everybody.
Out there, team.
Isles, flash over, sacrifice.
Throw up the in-game fist bump, you know?
Yeah,
are you a fist bumper?
I am. I always answer.
Yeah.
I'll instantly answer. Anybody fist bumps for any reason, I'm in there. I don't usually start them, though.
Oh, I'm
an answer.
Okay, yeah. You're like, it's maybe you're doing a little too much, but you're going to go on with it.
The only one I only spam one, and it's the Braum Keck W.
That's a good
regardless of good or bad plays.
Yeah, it does fit. It's an all-arounder for sure. I will say, my success rate in games where I press the fist bump and all my random teammates respond to the fist bump at the very start, like if you get a penta bump to start off the game,
you're feeling confident.
You're feeling confident. It's going to be a dub.
Yeah. They're coming to help you on Dragon. You know, they're going to objectives.
Yeah.
They got you.
Penta bump is definitely where it's at. But when you go in and you get like no responses and it just turns to thumbs up.
Do you deafen?
That's depression. Yeah, that's.
As soon as you get no fist bumps, all right, I'll mute deafen. I'm out of here.
Tab out, get a movie going. You already know how this game's going to turn out.
All right, well, teleport back up to the Grubs here side, and Kryra, the businessman, is on the way as well. See who can get the Phalites first. Oh, they both get it. Inspired's technically first, but it doesn't matter because they both saw them go down.
Yeah, Call Me does have first move, but Saint is behind him, and they could try to collapse onto Call Me. They do. Forces the flash there. Inspired fighting against Kryra. Nice little use of the passive, going to be able to stay alive for now, but Inspired with the ulti is just sustaining through Kryra's damage. Kryra trying to heal up as fast as he can with this ulti, but he is going down in a hurry, barely staying alive for now as Dokla arrives. In comes the rest of the team. Castle is here as well. Saint is incredibly low. Call Me trying to finish him off. Castle gets a kill. The reset's coming through now for the Aurora as everyone's getting taken out. Dokla flashes forward. Kryra survives. It's a triple for Castle, and Kryra, who looked like he was going to go down at the very start of the fight, stays alive, and Castle gets paid.
That is insane. Okay, look minimap right now. Aurora is basing for a purchase. Castle right now is looking, and he's going to teleport in straight from base with a fresh purchase. So even though Kryra is getting so low here, and Saint goes for one more, it's not enough. Look at that healing. Mundo barely keeping it up. And he's able to walk out too because the Aurora creates so much space. On arriving here, Castle, fresh purchase, Aurora ultimate, off of his teleport.
That one hurts. I mean, and Saint even spent the ult on the Jace instead of the Mundo because I think he thought he was guaranteed dead, so he didn't use the damage. Jace is jumping in, and Kryra is pumped up. I mean, he landed.
He got to live. He was like, oh, new lease on life.
He thought he was cooked. He's not going to take anything for granted now.
Yeah, honestly, I take back my earlier advice. If you're Mundo, then you can eat as much poison as you want, I guess.
Turns out, just bait. Well, Mundo, it does kind of make sense.
Yeah. He like does that for fun.
Yeah, exactly. He went down to 1 HP, apparently. Literal number 1.
Oh, my God. That was crazy.
That's tough. That is a tough one to take for sure. Because when he was taking the poison, he threw a cleaver, which cost health, right? And he went down, I think, right there probably to 1.
You know what's more tough, though? Dealing with Castle's Aurora that is post 3 kills.
Yes.
You're going to get a triple kill here for Castle's Aurora off of a really good buy already.
Have fun, Dokla.
Holy! Leandri's is already done. Big Dokes is like, please give me every little bit of magic resist I can possibly get my hands on.
Yeah, this is tough. It's like, you saw the Thanatos Cassante build from last week? All the chains and cloaks?
Yeah, that was...
This is just going to be cloaks. He's just filling it up with cloaks.
He's like, hey, there's a Jace and Lucian on the other side. I don't care.
I don't care, buddy.
You're not in this lane.
You're not living with me on this one. The Mundo passive going to be able to eat the Petrifying Gaze, but nice sidestep with the Ghost. Will keep Saint safe. Inspired. Connects that Wind Becomes Lightning onto Call Me, but not going to be able to kill him.
Another round. Oh, minions.
Oh, got him. Bends the bullet.
In the butt again.
Yep, and has the MasterCard Power Spike to boot, as he does have that Heartsteel now completed, so gets a stack on the gank, which really is a dub when you think about it.
Do love that.
Nice calling coming out here. Kryra moving down as well, just keeping it moving. Call Me is behind him. Will they go for the dive? Mundo does have the ult to tank it up if they want to push this in, but the minions are very far away. This is going to take too long, I think. So Call Me just going to go back to base. They looked for the angle, couldn't find it, but do relieve a little bit of pressure. Interesting as well, Sajed going to be going for the Stormrazor here on that rush.
Okay, so only a minute till Dragon. Kryra's going to grab Scuttle Crab ahead of time, no problem. His topside camps are up, So you've got 50 seconds to work with here. You definitely want to get the Raptors and red buff, and then we'll see DSG if they want to get down there, because a lot of the DSG lead is actually isolated up here with Castle, and without the top laners having teleports to join. Yeah, it's great for Castle up there in the 1v1, but it does mean Berserker, remember the Zeri, also got early money and has finished the Stormrazor himself. So Berserker's Zeri down here at the Dragon fight. Let's see if LYON feel confident in this one. He's got his barrier, he's got his flash. Same thing for the other side, but if they get early vision, if they get some priority here, maybe they cook. Mundo's going back to base, and there's only 10 seconds left on this Dragon. Both junglers actually just resetting, so it won't be any sort of an early timer on this one. Previously in this series, we've been on strict timers for our Dragons.
Yeah, it has been really fast stacks.
But yeah, this one will be delayed a bit.
Yeah, we'll be delayed quite a bit. I mean, we were at 3 Dragons last game for DSG at 17 minutes, right? So we're very far away from that. I do wonder if Sajet is going to have mana problems without the Essence Reaver rush. I saw Doggo do this build the other day, and you get the move speed, so it's like you can throw down an auto, get the bonus move speed, use that with your culling, just kind of reposition it. But we will see as they are on the Dragon here. Kryra trying to step forward, trying to create some space. Castle's still not here, so I think they're just going to back it up.
Yeah, for sure. Dokla said, I'm not going in that lane again. I had enough of the Aurora up there. I'll come play for team. I'm playing for you guys. I'm going to come down to the bottom side.
That's
towers.
smart.
By the way,
you can blame your team, too, if you lose. You're like, didn't you see it? I'm roaming for that Dragon.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
The tower is gone up there, and it, first tower of the game.
But Saint's going there, so you can blame him.
I like that.
Fair.
Always look for someone else to blame.
Never take responsibility.
We got a lot of very good advice so far today.
Thank you.
I think I've learned a lot.
That's what we strive for,
The first turret bonus gold back in effect again, by the way. So this Aurora, Castle is actually a monster. Castle is a truly frightening bunny.
Ooh, gonna be flash forced as Isles does get away, but that hurts, and it is tough to check brushes and play for vision when you are Lulu.
Is it like Rochambeau, loser has to go to that lane, or what's the deal now?
I think that's one of those things where you just show up to another lane and you ping assist to that lane.
Yo, somebody deal with that.
Come on, bros, learn your macro. I can't beat that guy.
Castle's level 12. He's got his second mask working on it here. We got Rift Herald. Rift Herald's getting cooked up, and it's on his side of the map. So
Castle's just getting greedy at this point. I mean, how many masks do you really need, right?
I guess the style of layering masks is truly unappreciated.
True. One for the front of your head, one for the back of your head.
I was thinking stack, just on top of each other.
I was thinking never catch them slipping kind of thing,
They're going to fight this, though. Look, they're walking in.
Yep, LYON going to be looking for the fight. Inspired goes in, but it's going to be secured there by Kryra. LYON's flashing out. Inspired taking some damage, but the ulti is buying him a lot of time. Kryra going to pop his ulti now. Kalmi coming in from the side, looking for Saint. Saint hits a 3-man petrifying gaze, but he's going to get knocked down for his troubles. And the Herald going to get summoned up. I mean, they tried to go in on this fight, but there's no TP on Dokla, and he's bot, so it didn't really make any sense to me. Once the response is coming through from Call Me, you're just cooked.
And since the Aurora is so fed, it's not even like a 5-on-4. That's like a 5.5-on-4. With the extra money bags being half of a person. Rift Herald going to get a lot of money down mid, too. They took out first tower, half of the second tower.
That's almost a 5K gold lead, and that is problematic to say the least here. I wasn't getting too excited about this because I thought there's no way they're going to engage with Dokla bot, but maybe they thought Dokla could mark the TP.
Yeah, they went straight for it. Inspired here, so he ults and actually creates a lot of time. I
think that was the call. Dokla's like, I can cancel TP, you can 4v4.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. Not close enough, though. Calmy got there in time. And Calmy's flank meant a lot. He's on Saint, and, Saint... gets flanked there, so maybe with some comms listening, that must have been in the intent at least.
Oh, nice sidestep from Castle. Even with the slow from the Miasma, gonna be able to sidestep. The wind becomes lightning there from Inspired. And Kryra, we know how well Mundo scales. He's 1K up as well, so very far ahead. Calmy's up 1K now. It is the full Thornmail as the second item, which is kind of interesting here. But I guess maybe he's thinking that Saint isn't going to be that big of a threat, so he doesn't feel like he needs to kind of go a different direction.
Yeah. Well, a lot of healing from Zin, there for Berserker as well. Decent amount since they've got a Lulu over here. Maybe he has to worry. I mean, they've got the power to walk wherever they want.
Yeah, they're just pushing straight on in, and Castle always has his TP available. As Dokla gonna get his heart stolen as another proc does come down. Berserker is in the area. Castle pushing forward there onto Saint. Inspire gonna dash in onto Kryra, but he takes a shock blast to the face. He's low already. The Nami bubble gonna get flashed away from by Inspired. Survives for now, but again, LYON retreat here as Castle maybe just gonna burn down Saint, and he does. I thought he would have been able to walk away, but the dot damage there finishes him off, and they lose out on both sides of the map. It's now nearly, I mean, it's 5,500 gold. Only 18 minutes in.
Stacking up your mask items provides so much here, and the Riftmaker was also completed there for Castle, so feeling the power. And that is just going to be DSG ballooning their gold across the map. They have full control. Here's another look at the beginning of it. So Saint went in and took a tower, two tower shots.
That is not what you want to see.
2 tower shots. And then he pulls back, or pulls back to Q, and it's still enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when someone's that fed, but like you can't be going aggressive on the super fed guy under his tower. That's just a really bad death. You know, dying like that when you're already that far behind is really, really tough. Call me gonna be able to farm plates on the bot side, and I think LYON's hopes in this game are very quickly slipping away.
Yeah, people were ready to be like, ah. He was in the fed lane, but...
Oh, Castle gonna get dove here. Dokla trying to start it off. Berserker focusing him down as Tokla does tank up the tower, and they got the shutdown. Goes on to Berserker. Hey, a little bit of hope. They get a bounty. Maybe they can farm some plates.
There you go. And they want to leave them for Berserker, especially because it just gets tankier and tankier with multiple people around. Everybody just vacate the area. Let Berserker farm. This is the plan for LYON. Funnel as much as you can into the Zeri. He's got a Lulu to supercharge him. Pray for late.
He needs a lot of items, though. He needs, at the very least, the IE and the LDR. But they're going to try to lay a trap here for Call Me. They were walking around into that alcove. If Call Me pushes forward, could be in trouble. Doesn't look like he will. So, by time, Berserker needs probably 4 items, and then maybe you can make something happen at that point. But, of course, it is very difficult to get there when you're already this far behind. DSG, at least thankfully for them, didn't stack early dragons, so that does buy them more time, right? You know, you can afford to give up the next one in 4 minutes, try to play for the one after that. So you have like, you know, 9-10 minutes before maybe you absolutely have to fight. And I think the idea is just try to get Berserker as rich as possible before then, see what happens.
Yeah, and then you also are going to have to remember the poke we were talking about. Like, it's right now when you've got Jace as well as Lucian looking for lots of exchanges. I think it is going to be hard for LYON to just like stay healthy on the map. You
Let's
know?
solve one problem at a time here, buddy. We're getting ahead of ourselves, you know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
I'm trying to work on this sprained ankle. You don't have to remind me that my arm is broken, okay?
True.
We're going to focus on small problems here.
Only what is immediately bleeding right now.
Yeah. That's everything.
It is gonna mean, you know, Sajed should have a lot of early pushes on mid lane. Is gonna do that. Side lanes here for Castle. Similar kind of stories. Dokla, though, actually doing quite well for himself, able to get that push in. Kanik Rookern, quite nice to be able to use that large, you know, extra shield to go in and push a minion wave during the timer, back off, and get the reset for it.
Funny enough, Dokla was ever so slightly ahead in XP as well. Of Castle, which is actually pretty surprising to me. You know, just a little bit, like he's like a wave ahead in experience, but I would have thought he'd be pretty behind in this situation. DSG going to be starting off the Baron. Definitely don't want to mess with that once he gets spotted, as they are just going to back it up. That would be one of the ways they could potentially throw. Call Me up a couple levels here onto Saint, though. Castle, nice chunk onto Isles. Will send him packing, and that's some of the poke that you were talking about.
Yeah, so many angles you gotta keep your eyes on here, because all of your outer towers dropping really early on in the game just gives so many options to DSG. They need to move their ward line up a little bit. Everybody online trying to retake vision. There still is a nice little regular trinket ward there through the blue buff that does not get spotted, so they'll remain with some. Bottom side as well, Castle has his teleport, so push it away, get your bottom leverage going early. Kryra,
They're going to be slapping
friendly
him up.
tank slap.
But that one goes in the favor of Mudo, because you get a heart seal.
Exactly, I was going to say, you hear that noise?
That sound is just crazy dopamine. I'm not going to lie, Riot cooked with that one. That's a good sound for sure. LYON going to bully their way in, though. We'll see how many kills they can get here, if any. The CC going to be stacked over onto Mundo, but he is way too tanky for that. Castle going to arrive. Dokla going in aggressively. Isles could be in some trouble on the other side. Inspire getting incredibly low. Flashes back over into Kryra, but he's just not going down fast enough. And now LYON are caught between the tower and a really hard place. Sajed wants to chase for more. Kryra trying to get the slowdown. Saint trying to turn here. Are they going to be able to knock him down? Great turn from Saint, and Berserker does get them the kill, but can Berserker make the magic happen? He has got to run. Castle's coming. Calmy's coming. He slides over the wall, but falls to the burn from Castle, and now that is going to give them the Baron.
They are cooked. They're like chasing the Mundo all the way in there. And that play took so long that by the time they go for the flash engage onto Calmy, onto the Jace, like the rest of DSG have arrived. And so after that win, you know, free Baron wrapped up. The gold lead was already 7.5K before Baron. After Baron gets taken, as they're waiting for the revive here, they give it over to Sajed as well, so they can all be matching when they go and they march on the LYON base. But yeah, LYON, they're feeling pretty desperate, you know, going for this chase here. The teleport you see channeled from Aurora, and then they're kind of backing out. They go for the flash play over here. They do not, you know, even get like a good angle on Calmy there. Calmy had a good flash on Jace. And so they're just, you know, they're cooked here. Sajed on the bomb side with the culling, just flanking them as well. Mundo shrugs all of this off. This was a little, I like the health bar bouncing back and forth. You know, you see the little Nami healing. They're trying to keep him up, pouring everything into him. And, you know, at least they get the kill on Sajed, which caused Berserker to go for the fist bump emote mid-fight.
Do you see that no one bumped him back?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
sad.
they were all dead too. They had plenty of time.
They had plenty of time. They considered it, and they decided no.
They're
I'm
like,
not going to fist bump him.
It's not funny. Yeah, we got one kill. All right.
Saint with at least a good attempt on the turn. You know, does get them the kill on Sajed, but Saint going to be sent packing here as Dokla comes in to try to keep him alive. Isles in a lot of trouble. Isles might just burn down. We'll see if he can survive. Looks like he just barely will be able to. But the pressure is unrelenting. It's nearly a 10,000 gold lead for DSG now, as it looks like they are just running away with this one. I think LYON have very few hopes, if any, at this point.
Yeah, the base is crumbling around them, so maybe, you know, try and make a play towards the like Calmy or something with no flash, but I guess they're just getting pressured too heavily on both sides. This 4-pack just looks like there's nothing you do here. Mundo is just infinitely spamming front line. He's level 16 now, so you get giga tankiness out of your ultimate, but they can't do much mid either. The Jace and the Aurora finish up that inhibitor, and they're coming for number 2.
Another shock blast going to connect there onto Inspired. Castle threatening, just hopping forward. Saint trying to do his best to defend. LYON clearly has one plan, and that is, you know what? It's still the same thing. Stall, try to get Berserker as many items as possible. Hope you can get to an IE. Hope they can make some mistakes, and maybe you can make something happen as a result. But it is going to be incredibly hard. I like the Serpent's Fang picked up there for Calmy. Going to help a lot against all the shield that Isles is pouring out. And DSG are going to be able to move themselves to Soul Point here. So LYON, if they weren't already on the clock, they definitely are now. Going to have to be ready to fight here. And you know, in just about 5 minutes, but they are so far behind.
All right, 5 minutes are on the clock, but honestly, see, even Baron's a little earlier than that, so maybe it's only 3 minutes on the clock, and DSG just goes straight to the next one, because the next Baron probably gives you enough. Honestly, maybe this is going to end the game before that. You've got 2 lines of super minions. So the question really is, can LYON hold out until DSG and force them to attempt Baron and then go for like an ace when they're in the Baron pit or something?
Yeah, we'll find out. Berserker basing from that bot side. And little update. So if LYON do in fact lose this, they are hoping for a dig win, which would put them in 5th and get them into playoffs. If Shopify win, then LYON has to play a tiebreaker against them to even get into playoffs. So they become fans of Dignitas if they do in fact lose this game, as we are expecting. And the super minions pushing in through bot, but a couple waves that they do have until those arrive, and that's going to be where they do look, as Castle trying to go aggressive on a Saint, can't quite find it. Kryra at level 16 now, massive spike for Mundo, and he is not threatened at all by a 2-item Saint. He's just moving on in and looking to try to put the finishing touches on this one.
He's going where he pleases and taunting inside their base, and he knows they can't do it.
Oh man, and we're gonna get to hear from him after this game, assuming they win, as a big shock place lands again. Dokla getting knocked low. Kryra's just running straight past the tower. Throws a cleaver and tags Berserker. He is feeling himself right now. We'll see if they can punish anything. Berserker getting incredibly low. Wild Growth has to come out as there is the culling used. They're trying to knock down the Aurora. Can Castle get out? He jumps back to the other side. He does get shut down. Have DSG overstayed. Saint with the Ghost Pop trying to chase after Kryra. Does still have his ulti, and Sajed gonna dash back in, and now Kryra pops the ulti. He goes aggressive. Saint flashes out, trying to survive as Inspired's in the backline looking for Sajed. He can't quite get him. Sajed barely survives. Kryra's under the tower. He's looking to do it all himself, but he gets thrown into the polymorph. Berserker has to find an angle to try to kill off Sajed, but Calmy has arrived, and he's going aggressive. He knocks down one, flashes in. That's the exclamation point on an incredible series from DSG. They're going to playoffs. They're knocking down LYON. And Kryra is taking out Inspired in his LCS debut.
Woo! Call me an LCS Lock-ins playoffs team right here. DSG have qualified. Who is your player of the game from that game? Huge stuff coming up here from DSG, taking down LYON.